Please question.
It even has the whole sensor thingy with the
Yeah.
fuck came with the essence.
Good evening, once again, dear kindred. We shall continue where we left off. A bit delayed, I know, forgive me, but life is busy that way. However, in relation to this event, it's as if no time has passed at all. For we shall continue where we left off last session. You are currently in the humble abodes of Frank, his one of his esteemed establishments, which has been trashed down to bullet holes and, well, dead people at this point. The police came
Nice.
round and is asking to interview each and every witness. Now, at this point in time, if you remember correctly, I believe Mumbles and Tatiana specifically were caught outdoors in this specific moment. I don't quite recall the reason, but that's
Because I remember.
yep.
If so basically Mumbles had this idea that it was Mark who set them up and that he was working with the Inquisition, so she went outside to see if she could caught scent of him. But
Ah,
like
yes.
she knew that like he was like in a car and he drove away. I don't know, I think she managed to catch the number plate, but I wasn't totally sure on that in hindsight, but that's why she was outside, because she was like the bastard. Ugh.
Would you have the police come up around three different cars, block the road, come out, and they've started investigating. They've asked if the owner's here, and I believe someone had directed them to Frank. And now they're just getting everyone's story. I would like to start with Miles. Miles, what is your version of what happened tonight? To the police, of course.
So, I believe, if I'm correct, the gun. So just to sort of confirm, we were in the meeting room. The gunshots happened, and we went out to check what's going on, and then all hell had broke loose. If I'm correct, right? That's the far the events. Okay. So he's going to basically say that he was. His story is that he was speaking with one of the people in like one of the not local, like a private area of the club. Came out to see all the gunshots, what was going on, the rampage. He saw the gunshots. He tried to go to the woman that he was with, Maria, but she got down. He fought back. He might have gone a bit overboard. And yeah, that would be his case, the story. And all he was doing was he was avoiding gunfire, beating the guy who injured Maria, and focusing on was over Maria's body, trying to like see if she could help her, but of course nothing. So that's what his story will be.
So you admit you were active in the fight?
Yes.
Okay. They will hold you for further questioning, and they're gonna drive you down to the police station in Slema.
All right.
We move over to Tatiana. Tatiana, what are your events of the night to the police?
I was in the club with my friend. Frank was doing basically nothing, just hang out. Then I heard these gunshots. I was very afraid, so I was like scared, trying to hide. And that was all that I do. I wasn't participating in this somehow.
Okay. Did you get a glimpse of the people shoot? Well, they're dead now, I believe. So
I didn't see nothing, I didn't hear nothing. I was so scared, so I was just trying to hide and not create any noise to attract any attention.
where did you hide?
It was just terrible. Oh, well, what did I see there? Let's start from here in this hall. Are there any places that I could hide, possibly?
So there's potentially the
name
bar that you could hide. There's a couple of, I would say, you know, those sofas, those I'm trying. The word escapes.
Lounges, like
Like a lounge
Plastic
kind
or-
of like there would be these sections, so you could have hidden under the table, using the couches as your protection. That's the
Let's say I was hiding behind the bar, like this, closing my ears, like trying to, protect myself.
so
And I
that's
didn't notice nothing. I was just hiding like that.
okay. Sorry, Mumbles.
So just to make sure that what I'm going to say makes sense, like when the police arrived, she was outside,
Yeah.
right? So as soon as she would have seen the police, she would have get out of sight as quickly as she can, just obfuscate. Like she would not stick around because she's not a talker, and she
Which
looks obviously suspicious as fuck.
now, when you're obfuscating, if you found a spot to obfuscate, right? So
Yeah, like if she sees the police, like quickly internally obfuscate and then out.
all right, cool. So in that case, we follow back with Tatiana. It's like, who was the individual that was out here with you? Like, do you know the person? Like, we're trying to hold down as many witnesses as possible to get to the full story here.
What kind of individual you're talking about? There were so many people around me. I didn't pay
So
attention to it. So you better please, if possible, describe this person.
All right. So
I
for
can
you, it's just
remember
like
it.
you don't know who, you don't know what they're talking about. Cool. All right, Frank. Yours is a bit more intense. They're asking if this is if you're dealing with.
Connection again. Sorry, connection again.
Sorry.
Can you repeat it, please? The connection was.
No. So
falling.
this is with Frank now. So
Okay.
so they believe your story. They're like, okay, fine. We're like you don't know, you don't know. So Frank is a bit more intense in this situation. Frank is being questioned. Why do you think they hit your establishment? Do you have any connections to some shady, individuals, characters? Is this street? So they're trying to identify as to why your establishment. Do you know anything that could have caused this more than anything?
I'd say that someone is clearly out to get me, but as far as I know, we have to wait for the evidence to come out because
Why
this was never,
why is it obvious that they're trying to get to you? What do you have?
not to me, but to my establishment, maybe to my employees.
So you don't know why you were hit tonight. You have no idea.
What I have is speculation, but you don't really work with speculation.
No, we don't work
do
with
you?
speculation. We're
Exactly.
all right. So we will be looking into you a bit more, unfortunately. So we will keep you under arrest. Definitely going to look as much as possible into your background to understand what happened here. This is an open attack. This is not a shooting that just happens. They came into your establishment and they started shooting.
Right, yes.
Unseen.
Arrest is not the right word, officer, but I get what you mean.
You.
I am held for questioning.
Yes. So we're keeping you for sure. So if you please find yourself into a car. So at this point, the party is split. We have Miles and Frank taken off to the Slima police station. And we have Milena, Tatiana and Mumbles. At this point, they are scot-free. So what I will do is I'm going to give a bit of role play freedom for you two, and we will get to Miles and Frank shortly.
So I will make sure that this policeman gone, and after this I will go and try to find Mumbles, of course.
Well, the thing is, she wouldn't really like stick around and wait. So like she knows like you're probably going to be interrogated. Like it's probably, with her connections, I think she's kind of like aware like on police procedure and what she needs to do to avoid it. So I think like after a couple of hours, uh, does Milena have a phone again or not?
Tatiana, yes,
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
finally
yeah.
I
Okay,
had
I
it.
need to
Which is normal one, smartphone.
Yeah. So after a couple of hours, probably when you're like wondering, like, oh, like I wonder where Mumbles went, their their little buzz or ringtone will go off.
So you're finally gonna call me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Mumbles, is it you? Are you
Yes.
safe? Have you been interrogated?
What do you think?
Okay, apparently you don't. Yes, sorry for a stupid question. So, um, should we meet then somewhere? I'm not sure if this connection is safe. I don't like smartphones that because of this.
No.
Probably someone is listening us.
Let's just say we'll meet up the first place we met. Would that do?
It's a bit too far. Wait, where have we met? Yes, okay, yeah, sure.
Boop. Like us.
So, phone call ended. So, do I recall correctly? There was that we met not far from the hotel when I was hiding.
In the
Or
fields. Yeah.
really there?
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit far, but okay. So let's go there.
Now, the interrogation, just to
So
give you a bit of an insight, is it took about an hour and a half for them to clear everyone to leave the scene.
Yeah.
So, at this point, daybreak is soon upon you.
Ah.
okay. So maybe we should arrange this meeting.
Yeah, that changes the
tomorrow,
conversation a little bit, I think.
So let's get back. What are you
yeah,
gonna say?
rewind. Do you have a place where you can crash? Is your haven safe?
Sorry, one more time. Connection.
Yeah, Mumbles asked, do you have a place to rest? Is your house still fine?
I think
Well-
you're using what's her name?
Athena's
Athena?
place?
I think you're
Athena,
using
sure.
Athena's
Penthouse.
place, right? Yeah.
I don't feel safe there after I almost got kidnapped. So I don't know if it will be safer for me to stay at Frank's place. So
If you want, you can crash with me. But we'll meet up close by for obvious reasons.
right now,
Have you looked up to the sky?
do you have a place to stay where this day?
Of course.
Okay, let's meet then there, because I don't feel safe myself in any place that we met before.
And Mumbles will give her like a landmark near her haven, and they will meet up there and then proceed to move towards her haven.
So I will proceed to move to this point, landmark.
Yeah, I just have to remember again exactly the domain that's part of the Baron, like in what kind of territory she was staying in. I can't remember exactly. It was like Slima, I think, right? Slima, St. Julian's.
I think we had established here more in like the San Juanish area
Yeah.
because it's more rural for you. Easier to hunt around
Yeah, so like the outskirts of San Juan, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
Yeah.
So this is the first time we've seen you in your haven. This is the
Mm-hmm.
first time you've revealed your haven to someone, I believe.
Yeah.
At least in game.
Yeah.
What does that look like for us?
It's actually like, you know how you're driving down the streets and then there's like a beautiful set of houses and then there's that one fucked up one that's like been for sale for like a year and it's got like the boarded up like windows and like the paint is crumbling. That's her. That's where she stays.
Beautiful. All right.
Because nobody would even think to look there. She made sure everything's sunproof.
It's one of those like we can't find the buyer. Sorry, we can't find the seller because
Yeah.
it's passed down from generation to generation, and someone forgot the deed to the
Like
house.
it's still functional. It's a proper house, but it's like decrepit, you know? Nobody really wants it except for her.
Fair enough. All right. Cool. So you meet at your haven. The sun has begun to show its colors in the sky. What do you do? Do you want to just talk a bit before you kind of.
Yeah, like she just motions for her to like quickly go outside. She locks everything, makes sure everything's still in the place that she needs it to go. And like as Mumbles is like moving back to her haven, like she is super paranoid. Like she's just like making sure nobody follows her. She's not being watched because if you don't want one thing to happen is your haven to be compromised. So it might take her just a little bit longer to get there just because she's paranoid.
Okay.
So if I can, I somehow try to help her and also say that you've become kind of very trustful to me, and I must say I appreciate it a lot.
I
And I
feel
will do my best to your heaven not to be exposed.
good. You know, I told you I'd take care of you. Just don't fuck it up. She shrugs.
I'll do my best.
Just do it. Yeah? And she just, come on, let's go. I feel the sun itching already.
Okay. So we have our color for this night.
Sorry?
We have a cover for this, not
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
for
yeah.
this day, so we're safe.
And the inside, it's actually like decorated, which might come as a surprise to Tatiana. Like there's like it's very like jazz club kind of like 1920s
Just
kind
club.
of. It's kind of like that kind of like dirty like speakeasy kind of like the big green couches with the rivets and like but it's like all like slightly dingy. So it's lots of wood, dark wood, green, like broken chandeliers, like with the ugly yellow light, you know? It's very distinguished.
Is there like
This
jazz in
is
the background?
really
Is there like
weird.
jazz music in the background also?
If she was alone at home, like she would definitely play some jazz, some noir jazz, definitely. Like
It
LA
looks a
Noir
bit
kind of.
weird and not really tasteful, but that's what I like usually.
So, I just want to establish: is there going to be any meaningful conversation at this point, or like we're just gonna hold it for the next night?
Well, I guess we can, because I wasn't sure like how fast the sun was approaching, but if we still have a little bit of time, Mumbles is going
We can
to,
discuss what happened,
yeah,
or
because
because did I see that our friends were taken by the police? So I can tell it to Mumbles. So that's the information I'm gonna deliver because it's important. They're gonna stay in the police
Oh yeah. So basically, you've seen
station at the day. I
mid
mean,
interrogation. You have seen
I
them
could
take
not
Miles
finish good.
for questioning. You've seen them at the end of your interrogation, almost after he kind of just started moving on to other people. You see Frank basically escorted to another separate vehicle, and they also grab Frank's staff, which is maybe one or two other people. One is in a different car, and the other one is in car with Miles. So, and then eventually they drive them off and leave the rest to go, while some other policemen kind of just mark the scene with the tape. So you've seen all this, Tatiana, happen.
Yeah. So when they start recollecting what happened, like when Tatiana says like they've been driven to the police station, immediately she grabs her phone and dials the Baron's number, and she starts to like wrap her nails like on her legs. Come on, pick up, 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 pick up.
It goes to voicemail.
She just like she almost like crushes it, and she tries to think what she can do, because that's like two kindred staying in a jail cell during the day is not going to end up well for anybody. Could she perhaps try using because I have to could she try and contact one of her kind contacts and see if they can manage to get them out, like those, because she's got 3 dots in criminal contacts, and she's got some influence with a certain group as well. So she's going to try and see if she can get one of those lawyers to just waltz in and be like, listen, these people, they're out now. I don't care what the fuck you're saying.
Okay. So, Miles, you wanted to say something?
Oh, this is a quick question. Like, in terms of prisons for like, in terms of the Slima, like prison, they're just gonna hold us there, confirm and interview us, basically interrogate us, right?
That's what they suggested. Yes, that's
Alright.
what their intention seems to
We'll
be.
see. We'll see. Yeah.
But is
And
that-
I imagine though, would the sun affect us while in those cells or no?
Well, we'll come to that description
Depends. Alright,
shortly.
okay.
So,
But the
Alright.
thing is,
If
the
even if
sun's not even the biggest issue, because you're gonna be passed the fuck out and nobody's gonna be able to wake you
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And there will always
That's
be
a fair point.
windows.
That's
even,
also a fair
even,
point.
even like an indirect sunlight
Oh
is
no, yeah,
going
there
to
is.
give you.
There's going to. I know. So yeah, basically fucked.
no, we're not.
Is there really anything else we can do with you, Mumbles, to help them?
Yeah, like Mumble's gonna try and see if she can get one of those really like dodgy lawyers to just get them out.
all right.
I mean, all I can do is try to speak with local cats to ask them if they know where there is a local police station, but I don't think it's gonna really work out, right?
I mean, if they were all, if they were brought, like they're going to be brought to like the Sleeman police station, because that's where the club is, right? There's no reason to take them anywhere else.
The police station is not near Potterville, to be sure.
So the club was in Potterville.
Yeah.
Like it won't be in the. It would be the club would be in the the Potterville area.
Mhm.
Like I'm maybe not hardcore Potterville, but maybe near the love sign, so to speak.
Yeah.
But there's like St. Julian's is like close to there. Then there's the other one, so it depends on which jurisdiction you want. Kinda.
Yeah, so the police station we're talking about is the one in Slima. So it is a bit of a drive for
Yes.
you guys. So I'm gonna cut quickly to Miles and Frank's situation. So Miles, the car parks into its parking slot that is dedicated to the police, which is ironically, I think, just the one or two, and they take you out. They take the staff members out, the one that was in your car and the other one. However, you look around really quickly and you see that the one that Frank was in is nowhere to be seen. You're seeing that at this point the sun is starting to rise slowly. They put you into a holding cell. Now the holding cells in Slima is not what you would think, like bars. It's pretty much one of these old British military holdings. So
Okay.
the door is made out of thick wood, and you
Thick
have
wood, okay.
a metal, see-through, supposedly what should be a see-through hole,
Alright.
but it's bolted with a metal cover. And
Alright.
they put you in there. Now, luckily for you, there is no window there.
Alright.
There's a ventilator, obviously, because the place needs to
Okay.
be ventilated. You just have a bulb on top of you that's switched on, and the police, exactly as he locks you guys up, is saying, "Okay, you're going to be interrogated sometime around 9 o'clock, which is like 3 to 4 hours from this moment." Frank, unfortunately, is in a situation where the police guy in front of the policeman driving the car looks back and looks at you from his mirror and say, "You're for," in Maltese is saying, "You're for Florian Najbin," you know, which is a longer drive, and you start to see the colors in the sky, meaning that the sun is going to come up off the horizon very, very soon, and it is a bit of a drive there. So at this point, there is this worry.
Okay. Well,
First, I'm gonna say I'll need my lawyer. Like the standard, man. How many people are in the car?
Just you and the driver.
The driver. Okay.
Which is obviously a police officer. I mean,
Yes, no problem. So I'll tell him that and see how he reacts. And in the meantime, I'd like to know if I can detect if he's a ghoul or someone in the know.
so his reaction to you saying that you want a lawyer is like, "Yeah, don't worry, you'll get a lawyer once we put you in. Like, you can request a lawyer from Floriana, not a problem." So in relation to detecting,
If I met him before or like
He's-
from my background, like streetwise.
he doesn't seem like a ghoul. Is not someone you've met in the past. So no, there's no recollection of this
There
individual.
is usually two policemen in the car, that's why.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
What I would like to check is, bear with me a moment. Mela Frank.
alright, so there's... Okay, it's gonna be rough to wake up, but okay.
So, can you give me a awareness and resolve, please? Seeing that you're in a kind of like a panic state at this moment and very suspicious of this scenario, I would like a awareness and resolve
No worries.
roll with difficulty of 2.
I'll just get my sheet down. I'm gonna use my dice if that's okay.
Yeah, no problem.
By the way, can you spend some points of willpower to stay
Yeah.
awake the day?
Nah,
There
just
is
give me a
in the
roll.
Rise edition.
Can, but it's
The
very
humanity
the
roll.
sun's still gonna burn you. So
It depends where you are. I mean, if I'm stuck in the building, hopefully... I mean,
Resolve
an interrogation
and-
room's not gonna have windows usually.
awareness, you say,
usually.
right?
Yes, please,
We'll see.
Frank.
Okay. So
But you can't stay up with a successful... I think it's a humanity roll. I'm correct.
okay, I have 3 successes.
3 successes. You notice that his phone on the passenger seat is actually on a call right now. And the name on the call is with Mark.
fucking know it.
I
Oh
mean, this was
my.
obvious, but all right. So I'm in the back seat, I imagine.
Yep. The guy is looking out of the window. He's noticing the sun is coming up, and he opens the glove compartment really quickly, shuffles in as if he knows what he's looking for. And through the, in a police car, it's not open always, especially if you're taking individuals. There's the separator between you, usually made out of this metal grid. through it, he hands you over what seems to be a syringe filled with liquid. It's like, quickly take this.
A syringe filled with liquid. Does the liquid look like blood? Or
No.
do I not know?
The liquid looks like, how do I this? It's a, you've never seen this before. It's, you know, the snowball kind of thing, but instead of snowflakes is glitter, almost like this iron is floating inside of it. Really thin. It's almost like one of these kids kind of liquids in the toys. You know what I mean? Like when you,
Okay.
the snowball kind of stuff.
And I know of Mark and his whole. Oh my god, the La Sombra are making Twilight vampires and fucking selling their crystals. So no. I act all cool.
You take it.
I don't. I take it, but I don't obviously consume it. I mean,
Okay. The sun is coming up.
I do make a note of it. Yeah, because.
The guy seems to be taking the
So I
scenic
cannot
routes.
look at these guys.
Guys? No, there's guy one, right?
There are always two policemen, but okay.
No, no, no.
Like the driver and
So there's just the driver and you. On the passenger seat, there is the call happening with Mark right now. Live.
I'm on the back seat.
You're in the back seat. The driver hands you over the syringe which you took. You notice that he is taking the scenic route along the sea coast, which you know is where the sun comes up from. So
Okay. Alright.
he's putting you in this situation. It seems on purpose. Sorry, I'm spoon feeding, but
Hey!
I just want to paint a picture here.
Of course, you paint a picture, darling. Like a Monet. So, I'm gonna rouse my blood. I don't get hungry. I got a 6.
Nice.
I'm gonna strangle the motherfucker. I'm gonna feed. And I'm gonna take over the steering wheel.
All right. So give me a brawl and strength.
Okay, that will be 4
With-
successes.
All right. So you beat the difficulty of 3.
5 actually. 6, 8, 9, 6, and 8.
So you tear the grids off. You grab him into a grapple, feed right into him. He's under the. How much do you feed? Is the question, I guess. Do you
Just one.
just one?
I
But
want to always sound the worst because it's our dear friend Mark with very sophisticated palates.
under the vampiric kiss, he's already starting to steer the car off the road, almost onto the pavement. Can you give me a athletics and dexterity check of difficulty 2?
Yeah. Dexterity athletics, you say?
Yes, please.
I still have my rouse check on, so that works as well. And I am not exactly hungry, so. Okay. That will be no successes.
No successes.
Unless you want me to willpower,
It's up to you. You want to willpower it?
I'll willpower it. That's one success.
So, you grab the steering halfway through your drink, and it's still stares onto the pavement, and basically you hear the tire burst with the pinch against the pavement. It doesn't go onto the pavement, so you're lucky you grabbed it, but at this point you're driving at a slower speeds and you're hearing the tire just flap.
I'll stop.
Okay, so you take full control of the car.
Yeah,
The sun
I'll.
is starting to come up. I need you to do me that check of humanity. I think we've been discussing, right, guys? Help me out with
Check on humanity because of
the sun situation.
Let me see if I can
not
find it.
the,
in the
no,
book.
that's the rust check, I think. the fear of the fire.
Where's my V5?
Okay, so I think the rush. Okay, rush track. We're talking rush track. Willpower is usually resolve, composure plus your humanity. Rush track, I think, is the same, but I'm not sure.
It's kind of obscured as the sun's coming
Okay.
out, so
Alright, so difficulty of 3.
So that will be 6. No, it will be 1, guys, because I'm humanity of 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4 plus. Yeah. So 7 dice. Okay. Difficulty 3.
Yes, sir.
Alright. I make it on the money. 9, a 6, and a 6. So, bare minimum.
You manage to control yourself at this point. So, how do you want to deal with this situation? The car is stopped on the side of the road, burst tired, on the passenger side.
I'm gonna take the mobile with the car. I'm gonna cast Cloud Memory on the guy.
Okay.
It's like, you just crashed, you overslept, and you don't know me. And then I'm gonna find a place to hide during the day.
So you make a sprint out of there, and you find the first place you can shelter into. Okay.
I have breaking in as well, so that helps.
All right. There is a couple of construction buildings on the roads. You've reached almost the Saint Elmo. Is it Saint? No, Saint. Is it Saint Elmo? Yes, it is Saint Elmo in Xira now. So you've reached a section, and you know there's a couple of abandoned buildings there, and you just kind of burst in and you take haven there. In the meantime, we shall turn to Miles.
okay.
On our
So-
toes, man, on our toes.
Yeah.
That's like,
So, just out of care, this is more for Frank. Frank, would you have to? You did tell us your human servants know about your condition. Would you have told us or no?
Your stuff.
yeah,
Their stuff.
the inner stuff.
Okay.
I mean, there's the Masquerade as well, so you never
Yeah.
know who's listening. So I'll trust
know.
you to do the right thing.
All right. Is there any camera around currently, Don?
There is a camera in the holding cell, yes.
Okay, never mind. Because I'm not gonna do shit. So I'm just going. So I'm gonna find a corner where there's shadows. I'm gonna try and hunker down there and try and get a bit of rest, and then try to get myself awake at 9 a.m. Trying to prep my body for that. I wish I had that fucking Tremere ritual, but oh well. It's like that one. There's one ritual that could have helped me in the situation, but I didn't buy it.
All right. So, shall we ask for?
That's tough. I like that.
So, Mumbles. In the meantime, you do manage to get in contact with one of the lawyers, who. Just a basic history would be that he has fallen from grace with the Baron. However, as always, the situation of how these things happen with the Baron, you found it kind of stupid or silly, so to speak, that he fell from grace for such,
So, which Baron are we talking about?
Your-
Baron Esposito? Yeah.
your Baron,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But you kept the contact because you think he does a good job.
it's useful.
You know?
Yeah.
So you got in contact with him. He is currently suffering from the withdrawal of, no longer being a ghoul.
Yeah.
So he kind of answers a bit shaky over the phone. It's like, who's this?
And what's important also for Tatiana to know is that Mumble switches to Italian.
Oh, okay.
And she will say, listen, this is Mumbles. If you are in a state in which I think you are, you can earn a little bit of my blood if you do me a solid.
I, I don't know you. How?
Yes, you do. And if you really don't, you haven't really been paying good enough attention. Let's just say Baron Esposito trusts me.
Okay, that is a bit clearer. How can I help?
There is currently a situation. Two of our own being brought into the police station of Slima. But Mumbles won't know about the.
What?
No. Yeah, so she will say two kindred. She will give them a short, brief description. And she says, I want you to get them out. And in the safety of the dark, if you catch my drift.
That's 14 hours from now.
Yep. So I suggest you hurry. Once I know it's done, we'll set up a rendezvous and you'll get your reward.
Understood. Okay, I'll get back. I'll get back to you. I'll get to it.
Grazie.
And they, okay.
It's basically the only word that I know in Italian, so it's like,
Nice touch, nice touch.
So, nice.
so what it's all about. Did you manage to somehow help our lives, or?
I hope so. But it is
Okay.
now out of our hands. You should be able to do a good job, and if not, well, that's not really our problem anymore.
Well, that's fair.
At least two of
It's
us.
such a shame,
Right.
but I can provide you only a rough power, you know. If you need to beat someone up, that's I can do, but the social things never was my thing. So I'm
No,
sorry.
you see, and that is why we get along. I'm not, I let people like the person I was just on the phone with do the smooth talking. The kind of talking I do is not good for every situation. And besides, if this works, I've got some other ideas as well how we can balance the scales just a little bit. It kind of gives you a smirk.
So we cut scene back to Miles in the holding.
Mm-hmm.
You hear. I don't know how much of a sleep you are, but there is commotion outside, basically. And if you do want to eavesdrop, you definitely can give me.
I'm gonna try. I'll use aspects you're hearing.
Okay.
Heightened senses, yeah. All right. So what do you need me to roll?
Awareness and wits, I believe.
Awareness and wits. So I add 2 more dice to this. So wits is 4. Awareness is 3 plus an extra 2, so 9.
All right. Difficulty is that of 4. I'm just saying.
All right.
Wow,
2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm rolling 9 dice here, so
come on, boy.
Hey, Macarena.
ooh, oh yeah. Oh god, I got 2 10s here.
There you go.
So that's 5 successes
Nice.
with a critical success.
With a critical success.
Yeah.
So, in the tension of it all, you heighten your senses in the commotion happening outside. Basically, there's a voice you're not familiar with, along with the 2 policemen who kind of took you in and told you about when
Yeah.
you were being questioned. There's a lot of legal talk that you start to pick up on. You're holding them without cause or reason.
Alright.
They can only be called in. You have their details. Can only be called in if you need them for court. You question them on site. A lot of back and forth, and they're like, "Listen, we need
Alright.
to do a thorough
You can only keep them
investigation."
for 24 hours.
Eventually,
Yeah.
you hear give or take, like 2 sets of footsteps getting closer to your cell door. Keys go into the holding, unlock the door, and burst the thing open. It's like, and Maltese is like, "You can leave." And
I'll
you
serve
and you
stand up.
see behind the policeman, you see this guy, very shabby looking, like this 5 o'clock shave, a crooked tie, which has like green and yellow stripes on it, and you see him. He's very jittery, like shaking on the spot, with a briefcase, which you can only assume it's empty, because the way he's shaking, the briefcase almost is swinging his arm.
Swinging, yeah. Okay.
And he looks at you, and he's like, "Let's go."
Alright. I follow him.
He quickly gives you his jacket and say, "Put that on your
Yep.
head."
Going through, yeah.
The policeman's like, "What's going on?" It's like, "Just in case paparazzi. You never know. Nothing more tabloids, stuff like that." And they head you out.
And I can imagine this with just this jittery dude with like such a heavy Italian accent.
Yeah.
Like, come with me. Come on.
The fuck?
Take the cannoli, leave the gun.
He's driving.
So, yeah.
He's driving one of these like really common Skoda cars
Alright.
from back in the 1990s, maybe 1980s even. No
Yeah.
power steering, everything manually opening the doors with his keys, and you walk in and you hear the engine go.
I'm not saying him. I'm just letting him work. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
he,
just.
he looks back and apologizes in Italian, and he eventually the machine comes to life, and you see him struggle with the lack of the power steering, getting out of there and driving off.
I still have my stuff on me, or that have they been taken away by the cops?
You've been given your stuff, obviously.
Okay. All right. And that moment I'm in there, I'll call. I'm actually gonna ask him first. All right. So who's the savior that I have to tank?
You will meet her, but tonight. And
All right.
you stay at mine tonight.
Very well.
Mia casa, tua casa, okay?
All right. No worries.
Capiche?
just shakes his head like Italians.
So you're covered in the thing, as now the sun has reached its morning lights of 7:30 in the morning. And if you do take a peek out, you realize that you are currently in Nashar.
Okay.
And
They're enough, not sure. We don't know them.
he parks roughly, and he gets out, grabs you, holds you, trying to protect you from the sun with his own body.
Yeah. All right.
At
I'll
this
try.
point.
I try to
And
follow him.
He kind of takes a few steps, and he takes you into what seems to be a flat,
All right.
entrance of a flat.
All right. All right. Here's your jacket. Thank you very much. Where's the bed?
You can sleep on the couch.
All right.
He kind of draws the drapes closed as much as he can.
Pass out on the couch.
Fuck yeah! He just tries to go and call me, but just passes out on the couch instead, just probably like half
Yeah,
side,
he was
knocked out. It's like my feet are on the ground, are touching the ground. My head, body's on the couch, like
Like
laying
weird
like this.
angle. Like,
Yeah, I'm like this probably. Like my blood goes cold, and then I'm out.
All right. So we're gonna go for a quick break. Okay.
Have a good day. Have a good day.
Be back.
Ah,
All right, so we're back. So a brand new night has come. Immediately, the lawyer is calling Mumbas back. Miles, you kind of
Check.
yes. Everyone rouse check yes. By the way,
Oh no! That's 400
If
now.
I have 0 hunger, I still have to do rouse check, right?
of course.
I'm on 400 now, which means, oh god,
So is Mumbles.
that's not good for me because I have sick mother.
Now I have to save you. You're still on
I just
400.
want
You
hunger.
forgot my club, Kevin Tom.
Oh yeah, you're right. I think I probably
No,
not managed to.
I was at 5, man. Then I got down to 3, and no 2. I
Yeah.
think was then we had I had some route checks, and then
Yeah,
back
but
and forth.
during the fight, I think. Yeah.
I think it was during the fight. Yeah, no, I'm on
Oh, that's
4,
good.
so
Yeah,
and that's
same.
all good because any open wounds on my hands, feet, and forehead when I reach for hunger
Oh,
starts
baby,
to
you have
bleed.
the stigmata, right?
Stigmata, yeah. But I don't think I have any open wounds so far because I think those were closed during.
Someone feels bad.
Yeah, because I have not been damaged yet, so I'm fine.
All right. So the lawyer looks tasty right now to you, Miles, as you
Shit.
pretend to stay asleep as he makes his call to Mumbas. You see him kind of very agitated, you know, like can't stop moving, you know, it's just like
Yeah. Like
ciao,
Mumbles is probably just like in the process of like putting up her hood and she's like, ciao.
ciao, ciao. We have him. I have him. Um, where do I get him for you? How do we conclude this?
Just to make like clear that we're speaking in Italian, I'm gonna do like a really awful Italian accent
Okay.
Oh,
so that
God.
everybody's clear.
Thanks for the
Does
heads
Miles
up.
know Italian?
Probably
I mean,
not.
man, you
Okay.
lived in the 80s, no?
I lived in the 80s, but knowing, I think there would have been a specific dots for language. You know, I don't know. No, that's
We were
old school. That's old school.
we're
No,
Maltese.
I mean, with his intelligence, we could say maybe he knows a little bit. Like it's like with when you watch a bunch of television. So he probably knows some of the words, but not
Okay.
like all of it. So he gets like a.
Functional Italian.
If you want, I can make a roll if you want, for that. But I don't think it's gonna matter much, so no need.
Okay.
Maybe I'll catch snippets.
We'll add it
What-
for fluff, Casu.
Yeah.
In what kind of a state is he?
He looks over and he's like, he looks, you know, like everyone looks dead, but not dead. I don't know how. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. You know what? I will
Big
just get
description.
over there. What is your address?
I will text it to you. Better text. Very hard to pronounce. Maltese streets and names very hard. No, non posso. Non posso dirle. No. Okay.
Also, yeah.
I know what you mean. Don't worry. She, I will. I will try and be there shortly. And don't be scared. I will bring a friend.
Friend.
Oh, God.
Don't be scared. I mean,
He-
don't be scared of this friend.
He,
Oh,
he,
okay.
he turns his phone off. It's, you know, I'm a cazzo. And it's like, no, what do you mean? Un amico, okay, and he's just panicking, just there, like shuffling in next to you on the couch. You know.
Yeah. Which is what I'm gonna start to sort of. I'm gonna stand up slowly. I'm trying to walk away from him. Like no,
Buon-
not next.
Buongiorno.
Away from me. Buongiorno, away from me now.
What? I had a shower. I promise.
It's not your fucking smell, all right? It's not that kind of smell.
Ah.
God, baby.
I'm gonna look around. I'm gonna sort of say, where are we? Where are we specifically? He's gonna look at open up a curtain to see like where he is in the area.
So you realize that you are currently on the same street of Nashar as that. You can see the playground basically far to your left. So
Okay.
you're on that street, if you know what I'm talking about. If you know which street
The
I'm talking
piazza.
about. No,
Yeah.
not even the piazza, because it's
Close.
it is very close to Vasquez.
All right. I don't know. I've been Lashar, so
Okay.
I'm not. You're asking someone who has
Where
no
the,
idea.
where the Turkish kebab place is. No? Nowhere. Okay.
It's a planet.
So no worries. It's fine. No worries. No worries.
Pizza Planet? I'm. By the way,
Come on.
we are not sponsored by any of these places. Like,
Wait, you're talking about a person in the south, so I don't know. It's,
Dak il-bebbuż jaf, man. Because I know, my family is from Missouri originally.
no love, man.
My
All right,
God,
no,
my family is from Missouri.
anyway, in any case, he's gonna look around. He's like, he'll look around to sort of close the curtain. Like, damn it. All right, so you're with. You probably don't know them. Never mind. Fuck. He's gonna feel like the hunger sort of gnawing at him a bit. He's gonna try and like stamp it down. He's going to if there's a balcony, he'll open up the balcony. If there's one, like I don't know, like a very small one, I imagine, like barely you can walk.
oh yeah.
He's gonna go out. He'll like take some fresh air, and he's gonna look out. He's gonna kind of suddenly recall everything that happened the last night, because he's just woken up, and he's gonna grab the railing straight, and he's grabbing on it hard.
Hey, this is rent, not my property. I rent here, okay? Can't afford to pay damages.
Oh, shut up right now.
No, not tell me to shut up, you in my hospitality. My
So
dear.
yeah, Mumbles will wake up Milena if she hasn't woke up yet, and
Tatiana.
sorry,
No,
she will
it's
wake
fine.
up Tatiana and
Just so sorry, guys, and I'll do my thing later.
no, it's fine. You were technically still in the scene. I
Okay.
thought we were.
I was I'm gonna quickly make a call. I'm gonna call my contact. My blood bag seller.
Okay.
If I imagine at this time maybe because I imagine they work the night shift, so I imagine they're still up.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm gonna call them. Let me hold up. Let me just pull up and remember the name because it's been a while. It's been a while. Oh, Mask tired. There you are.
Fiona, was it?
No, not. It was Melanie. Okay.
It had that name, yeah.
Evening, boss.
Evening, Melanie. I need a special triple order.
Triple.
Yes.
Where do I deliver to?
He's gonna look out. He'll look around. He's gonna see the playground. I imagine the playground is abandoned.
No, actually, there's a couple of teenagers and kids currently
teenage
playing
kids.
like football.
Okay. I'm gonna look around for like the closest like alley that I could see if there's one. And I'll
Sure, it's
give her the
not made of many alleys, but
yeah. Try to find one.
okay.
Me at this place. I'll have the cash on me. I still have money on me. I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Still have the money, and of course, service in full. Quick job if you can, but understandable if not.
Anything for you, boss?
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
I think we can go
Yeah, and
into
move on. Yeah.
the Mumbles Tatiana scene.
So she will wake up Tatiana and say, "Well, I have good news and bad news. What do you want to hear first?"
I don't care really. Go ahead.
The bad news is, do we have a name already for this Italian gentleman?
Gabriel.
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 Yeah. My friend Gabriel managed to find one of our friends, not the other. I know where he is, so we're going to go there. But first, I'm hungry, so I'm going to go hunt. So the question is, are you going to wait for me or are you to come with me?
I'd like to see, if you don't mind, how do you hunt? Because I didn't see any local gangrels hunt here, so it's kind of a new experience for me. But
Almost
in order
looks
to
like
fulfill my thirst, I just need to kill some humans, which I'm not interested in today.
not today, huh? That's fantastic. She just kind of just rubs and well, just don't get in my way. Sure, you know, make sure everything's comfy, like her hood's on nice, the sleeves rolled up just a little bit so they don't get in the way. She'll head out the door, lock up, look around and see if she can
So if
find.
I understand, Mumbles don't mind if Tatiana will follow her,
No, she
right?
doesn't mind, just don't get in her way.
Okay. So then she follows you.
Like you can be observant, but like don't stay this close to observant, you know?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Alright.
Listen, if people like to watch, they like to watch. That's fine. No shame.
Everybody has its own hobbies, right? So don't
Right.
mind mine.
A little violence never hurt nobody.
I got you, right?
Yeah, so Mumbles is gonna look for potential prey.
Right,
Any alleyway goers.
so you happen to have someone who you fed on before seem to be looking around your residence for some reason. He's looking into the abandoned thing. He has a torch on. You know, he's got some weird, kind of gear in his hand, looking around. And he's about to climb up the wall, basically, to get into the side of your building. And you see this from the shadows of the night.
I'm gonna try and sneak up on him, but like quickly and see if I can just yank him down.
Okay.
Either like if she can't sneak and grab him, she'll just rush over and just.
Well, you can always, if you want to sneak it out, you can always give me stealth and.
Yeah, just on time wise, like just obviously if he's like trying to climb, like she needs to be able to reach him before. But if sneaking is
Yeah,
fine, then sneaking is fine.
stealth and dexterity.
Uh-huh.
This is a timely thing for you.
Yeah. I have to remember how
With
to roll things
difficulty.
again.
So, I believe you just click on the skill
Yeah. Yeah, there we are.
and
So self-dexterity.
difficulty will be that of 2.
Okay.
Nothing too hard.
That's not a messy crit because I didn't roll a crit on the normal dice, but it is 4 successes.
You grab him, pin him down as you wish, and do as you wish, and please, this is your moment.
Yeah, she is going to feed from him. Like she's not going to drain him completely dry, but she does want to take the I think the maximum you can safely take is 2. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she will take 2 hunger away, and whilst he's all like under the influence on the kiss, she's going to very angrily ask, "Why are you trying to break into this building? You looking for me?"
You're real. You are real. I wasn't dreaming then. You are real. And you notice that he dropped the torch to the ground, which is kind of lost in the long, wild grass. But in the other hand, he still holds this other device that you saw earlier, and you realize it's one of these kind of EMF detectors that they use on ghost hunts. If you've ever seen them before.
Like, yeah, okay.
So
Cool.
so you kind of make 1 + 1 saying, okay, he either thinks you are a ghost or like he's visiting this haunted area because he thinks it's
Yeah,
haunted.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
so him saying that you're real, you're really real for you, kind of goes, okay, that's the situation here.
You know, not a lot of people can see me. You must be special. But what I do not understand is how were you able to find me here? People never see me.
I dream of it here. I've had dreams of something calling me and beckoning me here, and I'm here for you. Are you
Is
my
it
soulmate?
maybe? Who knows? This is certainly very interesting. How about you give me your number and we can have a nice little chat in a couple of nights? How does that sound?
Without hesitation or answer, he kind of, with his now free hand, reaches to his pocket and he says, "How about you give me yours?"
Boundaries. I will set them. You will follow them.
Fine, and he basically verbalizes his number to you.
Yeah. She'll put it in her phone, pull back, and just kind of like go again, like really close and say, I don't want to see you here again without my permission. Got it? I enjoy my privacy. And she goes,
Okay.
now shoo.
And he,
I'm standing outside looking at all this picture, and when she say this about I don't want to see you here without my permission, I'm whispering very quietly, "That's so sexy."
Can I make like a perception roll to see if she hears this?
sure, go for it. Awareness and wits.
Yes.
Difficulty would have to be that of 3, given the moment.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Oh, that's actually a bestial fail on the on the roll. So do what you will with that information.
Can I suggest a suggestion? Given it's related to perception, there's the paranoia compulsion. If you want to play with that, but suggestion.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, he is in your domain looking for you at this point. You're just kind of hearing out for perhaps other intruders now. You know, if there's one, there might be others, and you actually catch Tatiana say what she said. You know, and you kind of, I don't know how you react to it. Actually, I mean,
It's
She's just kind of freezes and just tilts her head and just like even though she's wearing the sunglasses, like you can definitely feel like a really like stern disgust.
he does seem a bit, I don't know, tastier tonight. This individual, you fed from him before, so something about his blood seems sweeter than usual.
You know, I don't tend to keep a menagerie, but this one is weird. I like weird, but not your kind of weird. Don't let me catch you saying that again. I'm not into that, just in general.
I
Those
didn't
things,
say
those
that
things,
I'm into some weird things, so I don't know
like,
what you were thinking about.
those kind of things stopped working for me around 60 years ago. So just don't even try, okay? Just so we're establishing some boundaries here.
Of course.
Great. Let's go.
We cut.
So I forgot about one thing I forgot to do, and I'm sorry,
Uh-huh.
but just as a character, I'm asking for 1 hour before we can go. Because I want to try to summon some night birds as a kestrel's owl or something to create a new familiars.
All right.
familiar.
Okay, so what does that look like exactly? I'm just curious. Creating yourself a new familiar, like
Um, mechanically or as a role play?
role play. I'm just curious.
So
So,
I would say I'm using my eyes of the beast firstly, so you can see that my eyes turning into a bit something like red and luminous, something like this, gleaming. And I will try to look around. What are there nature around me right now? Are there any trees or fields or whatever?
the thing is this, really and truly, there isn't much life going around in this area. There's a couple of what we as for Talbates, what is that, Frank?
Robins.
Sparrow.
Like common sparrows of the islands are very much about pigeons galore. So that's what you're looking bird life wise. Nothing exotic. However, there is a couple of stray dogs and stray cats, rats that are within the facility. So that is basically your menu of animals.
But are there any forest area around that I can see that would take some time to go there? I don't know, 20 minutes, something like that. No, nothing at all.
Nope. Welcome to Malta.
You are
Come
in
on,
the
I've seen some small forest area.
you are in the haven of
So-
the city, Gangrel. You're not going to find anything more than cats and dogs.
Well, if it's a city area, that's fair enough, because there is a bit of forest area in Malta still that you can find, but
Oh yeah.
I guess it's
Maybe
kind of a
maybe
challenge
low
still.
survival awareness. With survival, maybe you're looking for a particular bird. Like I know my friend of mine, he's a nasap. He'll be like, "This is this kind of bird," and we're like, "Okay," and he'll be hearing it. So I don't know. I don't gangrel.
Well, anyway, I want to try to summon any night birds. Well, I don't like sparrows that much, so maybe owls, bats, kestrels, etc. Using my powers, and it looks like, as I said, with my eyes gleaming, and I'm whistling, like trying to summon birds.
All right. Um. Okay. So you do see these flock of birds all of a sudden, kind of like just surround a Mumble's Haven at this point. Um. There aren't too many. There's maybe a dozen of them that surrounds this area. Wait, Tatiana, are you frozen? No, okay, you're not frozen. Jeez, you really can't stand
Standing still,
still.
yeah.
Whoa. That is freaky, dude. Anyways, so you have a couple of these birds, a dozen of them, flying around Mumba's Haven. So,
Um, I'm showing to them that I have something to feed them, some food, I don't know, seeds, whatever. Oh, no, they're hunters, so something like small dead animals, I don't know, chickens or whatever. Trying to pretend that I have something for them
okay.
and calling them.
So they would maybe two initially fly down to see what's on about, and eventually another two or three. So it's come down. Eventually, all the dozens have surrounded your being.
What are they? What are the species? Well,
It's mostly
I hope so.
common birds. You do realize, however, one of them was not a bird to start with. One of them is actually a fruit bat.
Fruit bat.
And it was the last. It was
Okay.
actually the last one that came down, and you realize it's a fruit bat not only because of its size and its texture, but it has a squeaky sound to it that it makes. So
Okay, I'll try to make a bond with fruit bats then.
okay, with the fruit bat. Okay,
Yeah, the fruit bat.
all right. So that's happening. Mumbles, I don't know how you're feeling about all of this.
Like she's just kind of like did a step away, and she's just kind of just watching her do her thing. Like she's got like a little smile because she does like animals, but it's just not her thing in particular.
It's not something that Mumbles can do despite that she's a kangaroo, right? It's not one of her abilities.
No, because she's city girl, like the farthest she'll get is probably just being able to like pet a dog or a cat, but that's about it.
Okay.
It's animalism, and as far as I know, city girls don't have
No,
animalism.
they
They're
don't.
disciplined.
No,
So,
I don't think I even
so
put
what are
any
you?
animal can dots onto her. Yeah, no, she's just, you know what? Momos is not actually that much of a fan of animals, and they don't like her anyway. Like, it's kind of like the animals recognizing that she's the predator, and they don't like being in the room with another
Exactly.
predator.
Makes sense. Speaking of animals, we will cut scene to Frank being woken up by what seems to be a very annoying rat sniffing him out. As you wake up on the cold, dusty floor, and you just see this rat by your forehead sniffing you out.
God damn it. Frank doesn't lose his shit. I mean, he's a vampire, but okay. You see a big rat.
He's about maybe almost a foot size.
Damn. Okay. Um, Frank will. He doesn't seem to be afraid because he's sniffing, right? Or like when Frank wakes up. By the way, hunger is too, but okay. Because just to let you know.
As you
And
kind,
Frank will go on all fours then, and he'll be like looking at the guy. Does he stand on all, like on his 2 feet? Like
he's kind of itching at this point, his face, and just looking around. He's ignored you now that he's not no longer taking on your scent. He's just looking around and ignoring you completely, and then eventually he kind of scutters off into the darkness.
I know of our friend from Meliha, so I would like to follow said rat
Okay,
if I can.
sure. So you follow him in further into the building. There's graffiti everywhere.
I'll activate unseen passage, of course.
Okay.
I don't get hungry, so it's like home maybe. But I can still see the rat, of course.
Right. And it's just looking for food, it seems, ignorantly around the area. It doesn't look like it's familiar with this place at all. So he must have come from the streets you take. And he's just looking around. And the minute he gets the sense that you're following him, he actually scatters
Okay.
towards the first exit he can find, be it the window at this point.
So not kindred
No, no,
related. Not that I can think of anyway.
no, no.
Alright, so Frank, do I still have my mobile number? My phone on me, my mobile.
Yes, you do.
It's probably safe to say that it's low on charge.
I would say you are at like 27% battery at this point. You,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna text Mumbles and I'm gonna say status question mark.
Like probably when they're on their way to Gabrielle, she receives the text. Oh, good news. I guess the other one's also alive, and she'll just do a little bit of a tap, and the message back would be good to see the 4 musketeers all up and running, and with just a dot at the end, like dot 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 dot.
Frank is relieved, and this idea of the 4 musketeers really entices him. He's like, maybe we're getting somewhere in our desperation. And then, so that means that Miles is okay. I'd like to know, but this is kind of aside. I'd like to know what my associates happen to them if they're, I mean, they're mortals, so they don't suffer from the sun. Would I be able to eventually reach them? But we can like postpone it to a more propitious time.
I mean, if you want to try calling them, if that's what you're asking. I don't.
Battery is shit, so no, and I'll see where I am exactly. Where am I in zero? Right, you said next to Gazan, somewhere over there.
So you are next to, would it be Gazan? Where
Thereabouts.
you're a corner away from where KFC used to be.
I have no idea. KFC, like the actual KFC, recent KFC, the one opposite the pumping station.
Yes, exactly. You're in,
Alright.
you're in a corner. You're a corner away from that.
Lots of people, like zero.
Yeah, if you look out from the broken, tainted, dirty window, you can already see these, you know, what, prostitutes. There's no other way. I don't know how to call them. Where-
Depends, because they're. Okay,
but in that
Okay.
corner specifically, you already see two that are already kind
Loitering.
of,
Loitering, that's the word.
yeah.
Yeah. You recognize them when you see them, those, yeah. And well, I'm obfuscated. All right. I need. I should feed now that I have the chance, because if I don't, then it will fuck up. So so what I'll do is I'll wait for one of them, like obfuscated. And I also have Ghost in the Machine, so if there's any cameras, that's sort of like a passive power. And if there's like, I'll wait basically for her to get a client. Wait outside, and when the client goes out, I'll go in and do my thing. How bad is that? And I just take one hunger away, and I'll cast cloud memory, and it's like bye.
All right. You're starting. You're
Bro.
starting to realize that she's not having any luck with catching a client, or no one seems to be interested in this said. So I don't know if that is something you wait around for 40 minutes
Oh god.
already. You know, just
Yeah.
watching her just wave at cars, do a bit of a jigger. You know, cat calling. There were a few cars that kind of slowed down, but then just kind of like drove off and insulted her in Maltese, you know, and she insults them back, you know, and there's a whole scene for a good 5 minutes. But this carries on for a good 40 minutes. You're seeing no luck is presenting itself. So I don't know.
I'm not sure how much cash I have on me. But okay, I'll.
You're carrying a good sum. You're carrying quite a good sum on you. I would say around. I don't know if you would carry 900 on you, but I would allow it if you want to. So
No, I would, but I would have maybe a couple of 20s. I mean,
okay.
you don't. I wouldn't carry more than 80 euros on me.
Okay.
Cash. Credit on bottle, right? But cash. And I'll leave 50 euro as like my sorry money, so to speak.
You leave it where though, like
On the mantelpiece.
on the
It's
bench.
comodina.
From where she's just
Like,
like
yeah, with the thing, you know.
you don't want some, honey. You don't want some.
Actually,
Yeah.
I give you some, yeah. And then, yeah. And then I cast, I do that, but I cast cloud memory. But it's the good sex, baby, because I'm a vampire.
All right, so we skip that scene completely.
Feed. Go on.
Blackout.
And then I'm gonna catch with my musketeers.
All right, so you.
Oh, you gotta catch something for sure.
No, I don't. I'm a vampire.
We head over to
Better.
Miles at this point, and
I have a sample. Yeah.
he's being annoyed by the Italian
Of
on,
rats.
on the balcony, and it's like, come back, and it's like, where did you go? And you took a blind spot corner as your contacts kind of goes over to you with your order, and it's like, what's that all about? Miles.
You're muted.
Apologies.
Okay.
Apologies, sorry about that. All right, so I'm meeting with her at the alley. Apologies, as I was spaced out.
Okay. So basically, the situation is you have the Italian being annoying from the balcony, asking you to come back. And where did you go? You took a blind corner and made your contact.
Yeah, I just told him I'd be back. I told him I would be back, and I.
Yes, but
yeah,
he's all jittery. He's that point of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he really needs this, but you don't know why.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'm gonna quickly take I said I'll be back in like 5-10, and I would go to the back alley.
Yeah.
Move away.
Your contact's
Now-
there, and she's like, "What's that all about?"
Just need just have a temporary stay. All right.
Okay.
Let's get straight to business. Let's just straight get to business. All right. She's going to
Sure.
pull out the amount that's needed for a couple of blood bags. And I have like 2 dots of resources, so
I have to ask, like, why isn't Mary dealing with this? I'm quite surprised
Say-
you.
he stays quiet for a bit. She's passed away.
You what? Did I just hear you say she's left us?
She's dead.
How does this influence our business, Miles? I'm just curious. As third party here, is this gonna start happening to a lot of people you're in touch with?
No. We can continue having this relationship. I just have to be either it would be me continuing these contracts or someone else. But for now, it'll just be me and you now. All right? Fortunate fucking circumstances.
Okay. I'll have to think about it, Miles. I'll have to think about it. So, you enjoy those for tonight. We'll talk about renegotiating things.
We can talk about that, yes, another time.
Night, Miles.
Good night.
And she walks away.
Once she walks away, I'm just taking the first. I'm making sure there's no one around me. Feeding for one of the bags just to get me down to 3 hunger.
All right.
And I put the rest in the. And I'll. Actually, I'm just gonna feed on them right now. Just
Okay.
get me down to 1 hunger because I don't have anything to keep them in the cold storage. So just drink them quickly as I can, and then keep them. I'm gonna carry them, and I'll walk back to the apartment. Just right now, like in his head, is just a mess of shit. This is a shitstorm.
As you walk back into the apartment,
Yeah.
the Italian's up in your face. It's like, you don't do that to me, okay? I hospitality you. Stay. Your friend coming to pick you up, okay?
They will
you
pick
don't...
me up, right? Look, do you want to be dead? No. Just quiet down. He's going to like crush it into these bags. He's gonna crush them. Pocket. And he's gonna like I'll pocket them for now. Put them as like coat pocket.
No, look, relax. Stay on couch. Stay here, and he hands you over the TV remote. Watch some television. Yes.
He just chuckles. Oh, God damn it.
Megfaló palmat is fenek meg.
Good lord. He's
I'm an
he's like,
80s kid, though, Frank.
he just goes, oh, for fuck's sake! All right, look. Apologies. I don't want to disturb. I don't want to cause any troubles. But right now, I'm not in a very good night. I can also see you're also not in the good night. But right now, I'm in the moment where, fuck, just.
Madaio, where is she? No.
Ding dong.
Un momento pratico, sì. Entra.
Yeah, so she'll open the door, let Tatiana go in first. See if I can calm myself out there.
Okay.
He-
I just want to finish the last thing shortly that I cut my hand, give the blood to the vet, and we kind of had a agreement that this little creature will come to the same place tomorrow evening. So to have our small communication again, because I need 3 nights to create this
okay.
bond families
Fair enough.
to feed it with my blood. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get one more point of hunger because I've gave it my blood to this vet. I'm not sure about this.
You have to complete the thing for that.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not
So
going to
that's
give
what
him
I
like a
did, and
pint
then
of your blood. I don't
Yeah.
think that much vitae is needed.
no, I mean it's just a small bet like that, so
It's
I
like a
don't
small
think so
bet, yeah.
either. Okay, so we can proceed with the thing again. Sorry for interrupting. So yes, I'm going then,
Yeah.
entering the
And when she opens the
flat.
door just very loudly, which is really strange for Mumble, she just, ciao ragazzi, Gabriele.
Benvenuti, and look, he's not doing so well. I don't know what to do with him, and like, please, can we just finish this transaction, please? He looks scary to me, yeah.
Yes, well, we are all. And speaking about that, she kind of, she just probably, if did Mouse put the television on actually?
No,
Okay.
no. It's
She will,
off.
she will look to Tatiana and say, can you just go and find Mouse? I'll sort the rest out here.
I don't know, nodding. Yeah. So
So
where's
just,
Mouse? I'm trying to find him.
yeah, so just to understand a little bit, like Mumbles is fully intent to like give him blood so that he can like get his fix and like stop the aging process. She's not at all intending to make him her ghoul, like at all.
No, I understand that much.
Yeah, okay, because he's also technically not her ghoul to
Yeah,
have in
yes.
that sense. But she will keep to her word. Like she'll probably get to the kitchen, like get a knife, just slice and be like, "Well, your payment."
With a knife, you could have done it with your nails, but can't complain. And he immediately starts.
She kind of like lifts her nails. They're like long and like a little bit jagged. Probably like got some like congealed blood under them. Are you sure?
It's fine. Let me suckle. Let me suckle.
Shut up, Hendrix. Don't say it like that. She's just kind of like just turn away. Just hurry.
He's a bit of a messy drinker, to be honest. You know when you have that bad wet kisser, that's what's happening on your wrist.
Yeah.
God.
She's just like just
And-
squeezing her eyes.
And he's
just,
there, and he's just, that's. La vita è con il sangue. Grazie, thank you so much. Thank you. We should do more business. Yeah.
Maybe. I do like the vast results. Well done, Gabriel. You know,
I mean,
and if
I
you
can only protect him so much. If they call him on court order, he has to go. But it's the best I could do for tonight.
it was just for the night, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
But I appreciate it, you know?
No,
And if you keep doing these jobs for me, maybe Baron Esposito will,
No.
put you back in his favor. You want to be in his favor.
If it is possible, but the Baron, very hard like a rock his head.
Of course. You have to be. She just kind of, like closes the wound back, puts down her sleeves, cracks her knuckles and
No,
says,
take him
"Right,
out of here, please. He looks unwell. Your man is unwell.
yes. Well, we are all unwell in some capacity, my friend." And this is all again in Italian, and she'll just go like a short wave and head off into the direction that she thinks Tatiana and Miles are.
So, so Miles is the situation of Miles right now. How he's on the couch. He's like how I am right now. He's got his head furrowed in. He's going through. So he's disheveled. He looked disheveled. The 5 o'clock shadow feels more like is showing more. Probably his skin tone looks a little bit more lighter. Not too pale now because maybe he drank recently. Disheveled clothing, a bit of a shabby guy. And he's just like this. When you guys would come in, he's just.
Well, there is some time before
Oh,
Mumble can enter if Tatiana
yes.
wants
Oh,
to have a
Miles.
first.
Hi. It's nice to see you staying safe and alive. I mean, alive to some extent. So, what happened to you?
He will sort of finally look at you like he just does this. He sort of gives an eye on you, and he doesn't look angry. He looks tired. He looks depressed. Of course, maybe socially you're like, well, why does it look bad? And he will just put back in motion. He goes, well, cops took me in. Then looks like this Italian man, who I'm guessing is a friend of Mumble's or a contact, helped me out. Everything's okay. Everything is fine. Everything looks fine.
Doesn't look really fine.
Horse is not.
How did...
Sorry.
Yeah. No, I understand as I can.
Yeah, you're probably in the same situation as me.
How did you fight anyway? You don't drink human blood, really, do you?
Do I reek human blood? Actually, no, I do. I'd stab the guy.
Yeah, there is something that I can tell that you're not really feeding well. Maybe it's just my intuition or something, but
I'm just feeding.
doesn't
Look,
matter.
it's blood bags, all right. They keep me nourished. I don't know how I just take them.
I see.
That's how I
I
survive.
see. That's why you look weak. Okay.
Week? No, that's not the. I just had look. My week has been not going well at all. To be perfectly honest, all of our weeks have been going to hell. So right now it's a shitstorm.
So I guess we have some problems to solve. Just let's wait for Mumbles to discuss what happened. And also we somewhere lost Frank as well. We need to find him.
All right, Frank. Where the fuck happened to him?
Cops got him just like you. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he actually survived this day, but he's kind of guy who can go through difficult things. So.
I think this is the point where Mumbles walks in
Yeah.
and overhears that part of the conversation. Says, "Don't worry, Frank's fine. He texted me a couple of minutes back." He kind of just looks Miles up and down.
He's on the lookout, so you're probably just looking down at him only, and the scene is there. Actually, probably the cuffs on his coat are dried.
Well, you look like shit. But you look better than dead. You're welcome. Let's go.
Thanks. He'll stand up, brush himself up, but
That's not going to fix anything.
No, it's not.
Let's go.
He'll slump on his slumped shoulders. He'll walk, hands in his pocket.
And she'll text Frank and say, meet up before the big B ?
The big B.
Baron.
Yeah,
Ah,
she doesn't want to say
Baron.
Baron.
Right,
Big
right,
B.
right. Big B. Okay. And he'll say time and place.
Would Mumbles know, like, of any place, like, nearby where there definitely won't be disturbed? Just, like, either just, like, near her haven or just a place, like, she hangs out with her peoples.
Right, I'm gonna make an awkward crossover check here. So give me streetwise and intelligence.
Mhm.
The reason why I say it's a weird one because usually you don't cross over these kind of skills, but just for this,
They're fun.
You don't. We do that all the time in our game.
what?
I-
Okay.
Would
Why?
me having any dots in influence or contacts help with this roll?
Yes.
So which one are we taking? Because I got 2 dots in influence and 3 in contact. But contact is more like getting things, like the lawyer. So maybe just
Yeah.
the influence, and she just
I was about to. Yeah.
kill. That works for me. Intelligence, 2 extra dice. What's the difficulty?
So this would be a difficulty 3. You're a bit out
Sure.
of your zone.
No, I have 2 successes. I don't know why it's so hunger dice, though. Or is it not? No, that's
Yeah,
fine.
you do.
No, yeah, no, just 2 successes.
Unfortunately, you're not so sure about this area.
I can spend a willpower.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Willpower
Roll
reroll.
all your black dice
Yeah,
with no successes.
luckily, I have 3. I don't know if this is going to. No extra successes. That sucks. All right. Then no dice, literally.
So, unfortunately, you're not quite sure that there is such a place for you here.
Yeah. She will then turn to Miles and says, "Do you know of any spot where we can talk undisturbed? I'm not really familiar with this area." Because we all need to have a good chat.
Let me see if I can remember something. I'm gonna try and recall. Like I've been about around the blocks. I'm gonna see if there's like a good place to chat. Maybe like a. Doesn't need to be a CD bar. It can just be like a CD place we can all meet up and like a hideout, like a hideout maybe no one's used. Cool with that, Don?
Sure.
What's the roll?
I'm giving you the same awareness and wits.
All right. Well, that's my good stats. So 7 dice. Difficulty?
3.
Okay.
Frank would also like to see if there's any pool,
Nope.
like, because Streetwise is kind of my deal as well.
Yeah. So
Actually-
looking at Ethan's face.
Actually, no. I'm gonna spend a willpower to reroll 3 dice.
Hope you have
this.
better luck than me.
That's better. That's 3 successes exactly.
Nice. So,
Yay.
you know of an area. You know of a place. It's not in Nashar. It's in Mosta, but it's literally just a 15-minute walk into the city, and it's quite abandoned. Not abandoned. Secluded is what I meant to say.
All right.
And he is an acquaintance of yours.
Okay.
You find you don't really want to go there because technically you owe him a boon.
Hmm.
So you going there means he might call upon it.
He might call upon it, and then I'm not going to because I don't have the fight. I don't have the current situation to deal with boons. I know of one place, but it's not a good idea.
All right. She'll text Frank. Suggestion? Question mark.
Frank will roll. What will I roll? Done with streetwise?
Give me a. Ooh. So streetwise and intelligence would be yours. Difficulty of 4.
I can use willpower. I have 2 successes. So that's 2 willpower spent this evening for the record. 4. Just 1. So I have a 9, an 8, a 7, and an 8.
Ooh.
9, 8, I don't matter. That's one. It's not really our area, but not even that.
Frank, you still have the mobile of the officer that you, or did you leave it there?
I took the mobile of Mark, where Mark was on call,
Okay, you took that mobile. You took it.
and I took the syringe.
Okay. That mobile starts to ring.
Who is it? Mark, I presume.
There is a name by Jason on the ID caller.
Jason. Okay. I pick it up. Good evening.
Oh man, اسمع انتي your patch of duty tonight.
انت من الزبن bro.
Okay, for those who the fuck are you? How did you get this number? Where's Jonathan? Hello?
Jonathan.
Jonathan, the owner of this mobile.
Dante only a cop gave this to me.
Jonathan gave you his mobile. Why? Yeah, ooh.
Give
Hello?
a sucker. He was drunk.
So he's not on duty tonight then.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah, Liba man. Alright, never mind, because there's a good fight here, and I thought I could get him to help me. Anyways, you have a good night, my friend. Bye. And he cuts.
Okay, I'm gonna see this number. I'm gonna keep it in my database now.
Alright.
So this guy is Jonathan and his friend is Jason.
Jonathan is the guy you drank from. Jason
Yes,
is the guy who
Jason
called.
is the guy who's calling.
Yeah.
Alright, so and what number is the sheriff? / Mark? / Harvey?
Mark is saved under the same number that you have of his.
Okay.
So when you look through the contacts and you find Mark, you cross-reference the numbers and they're the same that you have on your phone.
Alright, so
In the meantime, Miles, you receive a message
Yeah.
on your phone.
Okay. Okay.
And Mumbles, you receive a message on your phone.
All right.
Mumbles receives a message from the Baron, says needed something. And Miles, you receive a message from the Baron saying, I heard you did it, good job.
What's yours say? She just kind of just shows her the text.
He He just closes the phone. He tosses it to the side. Good job.
How encouraging. And she will tap back. We have a bit of a situation. ... First, we need to regroup. We'll call you when we want to get over. We just need to get our heads together first. Which is probably the longest text she's ever typed to the Baron.
To which he replies, "Not tonight, I'm busy."
Well, I think you will fit us in your schedule once you understand what's going on. ...
He replies, "When I say I'm busy, dealing with what's the other? Excuse me.
Carlos.
No, the other Baron. The
Dealing
one
with
who fucked
Athena."
up. Oh, Athena. Okay.
For fuck's
Oh, okay.
Well, she is a handful. We'll keep you updated. And then she'll just close her phone.
Miles,
Right.
you receive a notification on your phone, not a message, a notification, and you realize it is from your bank, and you realize that you were just wired 10,000 euros into your account from the Baron.
Good lord. Okay, so he just looks at it.
And he sends you a smiley as a message.
I'm going to. Okay.
Frank,
I would like to make a frenzy. I would like to make a frenzy check, please.
hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Frank,
Sorry.
you receive a notification from one of your banks saying
I
that
just read.
10k just went missing from your account.
I mean, you could have just asked Greg. Okay.
And if you do check the transaction, you realize that the transaction went to the Baron.
So maybe we should get back to plan killing this fucking Baron finally.
That's out of game, right? Because I don't know how much you're really going. Of course.
Oh, we all need to find a location where we can speak first. That's
Yeah.
already a hurdle enough.
Let's see how that happens because
Can I, because usually what happens when we need that location, I just call my sire and she'll direct us. Laura. But yeah, I know what you mean. I'm not in the mood to get another spanking from Big Bad Sire.
You get like a like question mark from Mumbles.
Okay.
no.
I'll call Laura and I'll say, you know, if you want to order to get, we know the drill. So maybe we'll owe her a minor boon or something.
Have that kind of.
Can we do that, Don?
Okay, sure. So you give a call to her, and she seems quite in a hurry to talk to you. And when you kind of ask about, listen, you need a location, she's just like, where are you? Or where do you need to be?
Safe. Under what's the word that these kiddos use? Off the grid.
Off the grid? I have something in Asha. I'll text you the address.
Cool. I text to Mumbles. I say sort it. With
Sorry,
interest.
not Asha. Is it a...
Asha is far away, man.
No. I'm thinking of something else. Gargour. Sorry.
Okay, Gargour is close to Nashar.
Yeah.
Plus, we can get okay, and what's her name? Tatiana can go to top of the world. That's where the forest is in Malta.
Mumbles will
Where the
just
fucky is as well.
when she gets to your address, Mumbles will just meet you there, and she will turn to Miles and Tachan and say, "Well, we've got our location. Let's go."
On the plan?
Could I make a Fury Frenzy roll?
Yeah. Okay, so Fury Frenzy. is your resolve plus your composure plus.
I think no, it's willpower. No, it's just straight out willpower plus humanity. It still falls under that. If I'm correct.
Exactly.
So willpower for my humanity. If that's okay with you, Don.
Half
What
your
difficulty with these? Because I'm kind of he's pissed. So
Go for it.
let's.
Makes sense.
absolutely.
Why are you pissed anyway? Sorry, I still don't get it. I'm
Mary.
Because
understand.
basically he's been given blood money for quotation marks killing his own ghoul, and he's
okay. Yeah,
And it's
yeah. Now I
being
got the point.
taken from Frank because Frank has been.
well,
a little bit naughty.
he doesn't know about
Yeah,
Frank, but
okay,
he's more
okay.
just angry in general about this. He's on the. I rolled 4 successes, so he keeps his cool. But
It's not exactly cool, but you don't frenzy. But you
yeah, I don't frenzy.
You postpone it.
Yeah.
I'd rather say that. Yeah. Okay.
Keep it together, man. At least until we're somewhere else.
You realize Gabrielle comes out of the kitchen and is like, Squeak! What's going on? Get out! What are you doing still here? Get out!
No, we were outside. We were leaving.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Miss
he's
King Gumber hasn't had it in months, man.
he's well dressed at this point, not shaking anymore. Like he's exited his building and he kind of finds you there. It's like, I do not want to be seen with you. You know, and like.
I'm sorry. Who the fuck are you? I don't know you. Get the fuck away from us. In Italian.
Questi donne. He walks away.
Madonna, that means like that was epic, man.
So we just want to compress the scene where you all come to this particular venue that has been graciously given to you for just a moment in Gargour, and you realize that it is a cut-off mansion-looking building. In the corner, amongst like the streets, is one that is not frequented too much by traffic. Perhaps people that want to use it as a shortcut would take this place. However, it's secluded. You have an abundance of fields behind. And Frank comes up, and Frank, you know that she usually likes to keep the key hidden behind the left pot. She has one of these big plant pots with this, plant tree looking thing. And you get the key and you can open into the place. You know also that there is a security system here, but she uses the password for each and every one of them the same, which you dial in to disarm it.
Yeah, I go in, I take a shower just as more of a routine of ritual rather than that, just clean up,
Okay.
take a couple of fake breaths, I don't know, and set the table, like where we're gonna meet.
You're all there at this point.
Mhm.
I'm giving you free reign to roleplay.
Do we have any blood bags or... Because I don't know if they're hungry or not.
You know she keeps
Some.
quite a few
Okay. Just to be sure. Okay.
in her second refrigerator.
I guess, when Frank's done with the shower, like they all enter and just also look around, kind of just wait until everybody enters and
Miles will just he'll just put like shoulder to the wall, like he'll just rest by it, bang his head a bit on the wall, like trying to think.
I'm looking around curiously. I'm not sure that I've seen this buildings inside before, so can you give a short description how it looks like?
So I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to go into one of these type of houses, but basically it's a 2-floor, and as you come in, the first thing you realize is a large space. There's a table set in the middle with some ornament, that costs a lot of money usually. Something along the lines of like crystal ornaments set on the table. Above it, a chandelier, one of these very like old school chandeliers, but polished down to a T that doesn't make it look any way standing out of the era that kind of is modern around the house. To your right, you will have a modern kitchen. And to your left, you have the dining room, along with, it seems, an open space for also a living area. If you're kind of traveling around the house, you find that on the back side there is like, what would you call it? Like you have a billiard table, a couple of books in shelves.
A library or
Not really a library. It's
a
more,
leisure room.
yeah. It's a luxury room, so to speak. You can see cigars piled in a box that's open. You have a glass cabinet filled with these little trinkets of, be it souvenirs from weddings and stuff like that. If you take a look into them, you realize that weddings dated back from 1899 till to the present day. There's the upstairs, which leads to the bedrooms and the laundry room and the stuff like that. So basically, this is kind of the huge layout that you are in.
If we don't have it, you don't need it.
Okay. They said, and I've seen nothing like that before. I do think so. So I'm curiously roaming around, touching different things that I didn't see before.
Okay.
Just don't break anything, because you won't be answering to me.
Sure.
Right. So while Tatiana goes off exploring, we've
Frank
got
will
some
use
things.
the syringe as well.
I mean, I'm not
What's-
going to skip the part of explaining what's going on, but if we have a bit of free time, just, everybody has its
Yeah.
own thoughts to think of, that's what I'm going to do. But
Yeah,
explaining part of, I'm participating in it for
makes
sure.
sense. Maybe Aoife wants to or Miles wants to have a shower and a change of clothes as well.
No, he's not. He's not gonna shower or change of clothes. He's just gonna stay as he is.
Cool.
He's banging. You know how he's trying to get shit together. So right now he's just banging a bit of his head on the wall, trying to think stuff up. Another
Yeah.
bang.
So while Miles gets his shit together, there are some things that happened that are very bad. Now tell me if you follow my logic on this one, Frank. We were offered to be the puppets of the Camarilla in this new territory that Baron. What was his face again? The name of the Baron of Pieta, I think it was? Who we managed to make him run away.
Yes, the Magister, yes.
The Magister, yeah. I can't remember the name because it's been so long.
Well, so.
Yeah, but it was the Baron of Pieta, right? If I remember correctly. So, we were offered to be the puppet kings, for the lack of a better term. We said, nah. And then we got hit by the fucking Inquisition. Coincidence? I think not.
And I produced the phone as well, and I say this was on the cop, and it has Mark's number.
Where did you end up? Because you did not go to Slima.
He was taking me to Floriana. I convinced him not to, and I left him alive. But
That is a very touristic route.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
what does that have to do with Mark?
I think he kept the mobile on recorder, so I had to confiscate it.
Ah, wanting to know once the job was done. I assume he meant to kill you in custody.
Yeah, he has an odd way of making a point.
Ashes in the wind. So, you agree with me on this train of thought, Frank?
Right, yes.
Tatiana? I think the Camarilla are getting a little bit too bold for my liking.
Especially after the reconciliation attempt, which was, well, not taken as intended.
My issue is that either Mark and some of his loyalists, or just the Camarilla in general, are working together with the Inquisitions to get rid of us, the Anarchs, which would be very bad. But
Miles finally speaks up. Doubt it.
oh, I can understand if you feel like you want to perish, but I do like my own living.
Oh no, I'm not disagreeing with the point. I'm just saying it's a bit doesn't fit the MO of the good prince. At
Doesn't
least
it?
that's why I think.
Nah. The
It's
prince would have agents who wouldn't face them himself.
and not only that. Remember one thing that the prince had made a damn contract with the Inquisition long ass time ago.
Well, that was already broken, remember?
Yep.
She kind of
Yep, that was
gestures.
broken. Yep, that was broken. That's for sure.
And it's either on the prince's orders or Mark is being indeed a very, very naughty boy. The left hand not knowing what the right one is doing. Now, that's all speculation. What we need to figure out is how we are going to use this to our advantage. Because I may not be the smartest or the most conniving of kindred. I only see this ending two ways: war or the long con, which I will say I am quite good at.
Which one? War or long con? Long con?
Let's say we pretend we do not understand what is going on. Yes? The club was attacked by some unknown assailants. Oh no. There was perhaps a mix-up in getting you to the police stations, which did not result in your early demises.
By the way, now that I'm in a place where I can do this, I'm gonna turn on the laptops and the televisions, and I'll see if there's like any hint of a masquerade, which or like how was it reported that this club was attacked? Because if they say, I don't know, a fight broke out with guys being drunk and bottles were thrown about, it's one way. I don't know.
Frank, you hear your mobile buzz. A message came in.
I must have put it on charger. What's the message?
You can read it. I sent it to you private.
Oh,
It's up to you if you want to.
alright. Discord, right? Ooh.
So we
I
either
see.
So we either convince the Baron of what's happening and it needs immediate attention. I'm busy is not going to cut it this time. Yeah. Or
I think I have the goods. I can help in that regard because I produced this syringe and I know that Tremor are very, very sciencey and very, very curious. And Mark said that the Baron of Pietà was creating this serum and he was thus proving a point that the serum does exist. And he told me this, I suppose this would be Jonathan, to take it in.
the sunscreen. Yeah.
Yes. So this is evidence, and what we do with evidence, we give it to the guy who knows how to deal with it
So
best.
Mark was not trying to have you killed then.
That's the irony. It's this Ra's al Ghul, Batman, Talia al Ghul dynamic we have. Yes,
Yes,
actually, I
'cause
don't
of
think he was
course.
trying to get me killed, but there's the sun, or there was just this message in a bottle.
Because of course everything revolves around you, Frank, and she just kind of gives you a look like, what the fuck?
Can I look at that syringe?
Sure.
Can I look at that syringe? I want to look at the con. I'm gonna inspect the syringe if I can, Don. Like try to see like, basically I know it's like the bright sort of there's crystallized liquid here.
We don't have a
eh,
laboratory, we're not scientists, but I'm not sure
I
what
don't.
is. You would know. What's the Baron's field of expertise, if any?
What would
I-
I know, Don, about Baron's expertise, as far as you
Because,
know?
Tremere being Tremere.
What's his specialty in
The-
Tremere knowledge?
He is quite top of the top.
Blood
specialist,
sorcerer of the highest.
Yes.
Shenanigans? Okay. Well, the Baron would definitely be able to discern this, but... So this is one of the ways you're making a fuck ton of money.
Speaking
Nice.
of a ton of money, I think the Baron and I have to talk about certain things.
I don't give a
But
fuck
yeah,
about
sorry.
money right now. We need to figure out what we're going to do about this. I reckon we can still just take the spot in Piata. I feel like I've got ways of making sure nobody takes it from us.
We could.
Take
But
Pieta.
But how, in what way do we take? Like what, we just make it hostile? Well, we just make a takeover and we run the show?
yeah, so Mamos gets a bunch of texts, just frowns, looks. Well, looks like we got more trouble coming our way.
In what way?
Well, in the same way my past can help us, it can also fuck us.
Ain't
You
that the
see-
truth?
You see, I get around, and if we take Pieta, I think I could make an arrangement with my Baron, and I'm not talking about the Baron of St. Julian's, my Baron. Would you all be interested in having this territory? At least we will be in somewhat of a position of power to bargain with the Baron and make him understand that the Inquisition, even allied with the Camarilla, are indeed a real present threat.
Let's say we take up this property, this territory,
Domain, Miles. Domain.
whatever. I'm not in the mood of playing semantics right now.
Who's your Baron anyway? It does sound so mysteriously.
Past life.
I am not Maltese. I'm Italian. Let's just keep it at that.
Yeah, I can see that, but are you talking about some Italian Baron?
Where from?
The small village of none of your fucking business.
I see.
So,
So N-O... So
I've shared-
N-O-Y-F-B. Okay.
I've shared my thoughts and intentions. What do
Well-
you guys want?
Here's my intentions. Right now, I want to get this entire shitstorm settled. Preferably without a single bullet being shot if possible, but that's going to be impossible as heck. I don't mind taking over some territory. Of course, I imagine we would all share it, and the question is how we're going to turn it into. Is it going to be a barony? One person becomes baron? Do we set it up as an independent organization and we're just running the show ourselves? That's up in the air. I will need to think on something. Quick question, Don. My past. I have my past with the camera law. With the prince, the current prince. Do I imagine that he would pull off, that he would be happy with the Inquisition being riled up and shooting up places? And don't know if it's either both sides. But even if it's like the Anarchs, is he okay with that, or is he riled up as fuck for sure? This would be like something that no, this needs to be shut down quickly.
We're talking about the Camarillas, right?
Yes, the current prince of Camarilla. I forgot his name.
It's okay, no worries. So this would definitely upset him. The fact that he hasn't seemed to have acted on it seems he might be in the dark.
Might be in dark. Okay, all right. I imagine he would love to get this solved for sure, with whatever necessary measures. So I'm gonna say, well, I do have this one crazy idea. Of course, it's a matter of how. Of course, right now I'm in crazy idea territory, so shoot me down if you believe is right. Knowing the situations right now, I don't want to continue operating on speculations, but speculation is all we have right now. If the Inquisition is going on and shooting up kindred spots, for now all we know is the baronies are getting hit. We don't know if the Cameron has been gotten hit yet, as far as we know. Knowing the good prince of the Camarilla, excuse me, he doesn't want this. Actually, he would be furious at this point that this entire shitstorm is happening. And knowing him, he would probably want this to get solved as fast as it can be done. So, I'm thinking, at least what I would like to do, is have a meeting with him.
Right. And what makes you think he'll see us?
Well, you three, I'm not sure. Me?
You're the prodigal son, aren't you?
No. I just have previous connections, let's just say that.
Yeah. Prodigal son.
I'm not a prodigal son, mate.
Metaphors, man. They get over your head. Okay.
All I want is to end this as fast as we can so we don't get more bloodshed spilled for all of us. And the Masquerade doesn't continue breaking. Right now the Masquerade is on the flimsy laws. If at least the prince is not happy with all this and would also find a way to get this solved, I would have no issue with getting this amended in a way.
Right.
I don't want to join side with him.
Especially if our hunch, or if my hunch is correct, that Mark is doing some stuff on the side.
The prince would not like that Mark is doing stuff on the side, for sure. Could lead an interesting path. Potentially. Again, that's my idea. If you believe it is a bad idea, shoot me down right now.
It's not really a bad idea because it's how you implement it. So.
And if we have territory, again, then we need to decide how we're going to align ourselves. If I'm going to be perfectly honest with all of you, let's say we do take over Pieta.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want us to be, of course, not Camarilla, for heaven's sake, but also not baronies.
Independent.
He nods.
Well, that may or may not be possible depending on this phone call I'm going to take. I will be right back.
Take your
Mumbles
time.
will disappear into the upstairs and start a particular procedure involving her phone. and a number and calling it.
This is the moment I think where a bit of PvP window can emerge because Frank has obfuscate, she has obfuscate, she doesn't have any heightened senses as far as I know. And this whole burn of none of more fucking business is like, well, like who are you kidding? But up to you, Don. Like if because obviously Frank is not having any of that.
So,
But
so
with
Luke,
Frank
are
is
you,
on the
so
agenda.
Luke, you're implying you're gonna obfuscate while she's on call and follow her.
I mean, I don't know what she's doing. If it sends,
Yeah,
do you know what she's doing?
Just say what you're gonna do.
Yeah. Especially like in a borrowed person's domain, but that's besides the major point. But okay. So yeah, if she's gonna go upstairs, I'll have to follow.
Okay.
Do I see him?
And I look
Do I
at
see him leaving?
Miles.
Do I see him leaving, like going towards the stairs?
Well, while Mumbles politely excused herself, Frank did not do the same. Frank
Alright.
left a moment. You see
Can-
this suspicious look on his face, one of those, like,
Could I have stopped him? Could I put my hand on his shoulder? Potentially before he left.
you can, this is, if you want to
I'm
PvP
gonna,
it, go for it.
I'm gonna put a hand on my shoulder, just like,
You're really trusting her. I mean, she hasn't betrayed us so far. And I
Frank,
don't
look at-
like to think
Frank,
that she will.
look into my eyes. Do you trust me? That's the point. How can we trust each other? We're a bunch of vampires right now, alright? Sorry, kindred on the appropriate words. Look,
Yeah, but even people betray each other. I mean, and people,
Look,
vampires trust
I
each
have
other
look,
sometimes.
whatever she has, it's her business, right? And right now, I'm not really in the position to block her.
Yeah, but I would be. So
He's gonna look at you. Look. Let her do her thing. Alright?
So what's kind of the window, I'm curious, that Frank is going to wait before like attempting to follow her upstairs? I'm just curious.
he's going to be discreet, of course. But
Yeah, okay. So probably like once you hear like a door closing upstairs, he would. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I'm just checking.
do we need to make any rolls?
So Frank is going up, right? Using obfuscate not to. The thing is, obfuscate, you can't be seen or heard.
Can't be seen, and mine can't be heard as well.
Okay. So there's no essential roles that need to be done, I think. So unless Mumbles, you have an idea to oppose this.
I mean, she has had the time to go upstairs, go into a room, and close it. Like, if he's going to be obfuscating upstairs, like he will need to like pinpoint exactly which room she is.
Every room has a lock and key installed straight into every door. So the minute you close the door, you find a key you could lock the room with. So that is an option you could take.
Yeah. Well, there's not really any need to lock it.
It will give away your position, but at least you could somewhat have some form of privacy.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't really expect somebody to follow her up because in her eyes that would be quite silly.
Okay.
Like if you're like she's going to be speaking to her peoples in Italian. I don't know if Frank knows any Italian.
Man, we're in the 80s. Everyone knew Italian.
But do you have it? Do you have it on your sheet? Do you have Italian as a language on your sheet?
Really, but
Then you don't know.
All right, so what I'm going to suggest is, Frank, can you just give me a quick investigation and resolve to see if you actually find which door she went through? This would be difficulty of 4, since you've not exactly...
And can I use Auspex as well, because I'm having heightened senses?
I'll allow it.
Alright. So, just need to check my sheet again. And all the investigation is 4. And resolve, right? Mm-hmm. And, alright. And difficulty 4, you say?
Yes, please.
Alright. My tickaboo, where's the bloody character sheet? Yeah, Malta by night. Characters, here we are. Just to be sure, tao. Mala. Resolve investigation. Okay. Plus suspects. Alright. I have 1, 2, 3. I'll willpower again, so willpower of 3 spent tonight.
Oof, risky.
And one of them is so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One of them is on the red, baby.
Is that
It's a 0. It's a red 0. So there's the compulsion or whatever.
Ah, you have a messy crit.
Mm.
Oh dear.
so? In the beginning, you're not finding anything, right? You're going door to door, looking into bedrooms. You're not having any of it. At this point, in frustration, one of the doors you actually break it off its hinges. You're still holding it, and you're caught in a situation where the mobbers look back at this broken door, and you give your position away completely.
Do I hear the conversation?
You hear the first bit of it. I don't know how Mombas would like to continue the rest of this, whether she stops and...
Well, there is a bit of a process to it. So the first part of the conversation would be going through that, but then
Okay.
also it just depends on whether Frank actually knows Italian or not. So like he could hear that she's speaking in Italian, but if he doesn't understand the language, it's not going to matter what she says, really.
So I'm looking at Frank's sheet as we speak.
No, technically, like you need academics.
Yeah. So
Or like
unfortunately, it's not something he fully comprehends. He's picked up a few things that you get from
The word baron, it definitely is familiar.
yeah.
Again,
Sure.
in Malta, yes. While some of us yes, in the 80s, Italian is one of the common languages. The thing is, it then depends. Like right now, you can, for most of us, we can probably catch it, but we can't catch all the words. It's like
that's a
it's like some words here and there, not really.
Yeah, so like you get something about that she wants to speak to
Yeah.
the Baron, but then Frank rips the door of his hinges, so she will just scusi. Wait a second. She just pops her like head out of the room. She sees the door of its hinges. She just sighs and just really gives Frank, like, she takes off her sunglasses and she just says, like, what the fuck is your problem?
It can be the burn of none of your fucking business if we're gonna be allies.
Yeah, and you just try to make it your business, which I really don't appreciate.
It's
I don't
everybody's
try.
business.
It is really not until I say it is. And if you are not going to respect my boundaries, we are going to have a problem. I respect your boundaries. I don't ask you where you get all your sources and your money from, because frankly, I don't really care unless you're going to make it my problem. I don't intend to make any
Can
problems
say
for
the
you.
same for you.
I'm making problems for you. How is that so?
No, it's a question of trust. So this is the part where we have to say not to make it a problem.
You just made it a problem. And I'm not going to forget that. Now get the fuck out of my sight and
This
let
is
me follow
not.
my people. Bye, Frank.
Can we possibly hear it with
Oh
the
no,
miles?
she's
Or
being very vocal.
It's like mommy and daddy are fighting just upstairs, you know, kind of situation. At least at least my traumatic experience just kicked in right there.
All right. Um,
so do we hear it or not? So
Yeah, we hear. No, we. She said we hear it. So Miles will steer up. Fucking Frank D.
So if we can hear it, I'd actually like to come upstairs to this folks.
I'll follow up.
Is
but
it
I'm gonna-
fine? So I can see them?
Yeah,
So-
you're seeing them being confrontational in the whole.
Yeah, Mom was just out the side of the room, like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, that's right. So
You're very Italian
did
right
you
now.
hear, Frank?
it's not weird at all,
Just
man.
don't upset our friends.
Oh, I think you should stop and think what happens when you lot upset me.
I walk up the stairs. I'm just seeing this back to the wall, just seeing this, just seeing all this unfold.
Yes, I'm sure you're very scary, Frank. We're all very scary. But in
Oh
case
my
you didn't
god, you really
notice,
want to go there?
in case you didn't notice, I used my Baron and context of none of your fucking business to save Miles's life. So let's just process that information for a little bit, and then you can decide how you want to handle this. But for now, I want to
Alright.
make a private phone call, if you don't mind, please and thank you. And she'll
It's becoming
go
really
back into the room.
irritating, so I'm approaching. Sorry for interrupting. I'm approaching Frank and tap him gently on his shoulder, like, let's go from here. Let's give her some free time.
Can you roll me a persuasion and charisma, Tatiana?
Sure.
And Frank, can you give me?
Not intimidation.
No, you're being persuasive. Intimidation would have been mumbles, you
Okay.
know.
Fair enough.
Get the fuck out of my place.
Fuck off.
Lavancolo, fuck off.
Frank,
Okay.
Frank, I would roll a intimidation and composure.
Composure. I actually have very limited intimidation and only.
So difficulty.
You're
Doesn't matter,
you're rolling
or-
off. So who gets the
Against
highest?
each other, whoever gets the highest happens.
You're either gonna convince Frank to
Okay.
walk with you, or Frank is gonna be stubborn and is gonna not gonna listen to you. This is the situation here.
So
We're at this crossroads.
I think I've submitted it, but I didn't see it. I can see it in the group chat and in the roll 20 for some reason.
All right.
Okay.
So you have 3 successes, I think, or 3 fails.
No, did she roll? Did you roll in chat? No, that is Mumbles willpower roll.
Oh, okay. No, you didn't submit it.
Try again.
For some reason, I'm trying to roll it, but it doesn't work. Just a second, then again.
No worries.
I had no successes anyway, so. And I have
Well-
a lot of willpower too, so it kind of fits in that I'm like, Kifayetuni, man.
Hope you don't have to roll any for frenzies. Because having low willpower for frenzy rolls is not
Ooh, that's
very
not good.
good.
That's not good. No, no. Ooh.
Alright, so Frank, you see him think, and he's like, okay.
Oh, also knows. No. Oh,
Y'all
bestial
wrote
failure.
zero.
She
Y'all
rolled
wrote
bestial
zero.
failure though.
Like, well, there wasn't really a difficulty to beat.
True.
So that they both
So
are
two
just kind
successes?
of
Yeah.
awkward stare.
You feel Tatiana's grip tighten slightly, despite the kind face and smile on her to convince you to calm down. That's the best I can give you with that dice roll.
Um,
Well,
um,
so I didn't mean to intimidate you, but I finished intimidating you.
uh, you see him relent, and I'm just gonna roll my willpower. Just this is more the Malkavian issue. No, he's not gonna retaliate. You see him shake a bit, and then you see him mutter something under his breath, and then just retreats.
I'm
And just
gonna.
from inside the room, you hear like the tap being turned on along with the shower.
I'm gonna stay outside in the hallway where she's making go, but I'm not gonna like this. I'm just gonna stay there, just waiting basically for her to finish up. Just sitting there. I'm not gonna listen in.
Yeah. So like she'll, unlock the phone again and excuse me. I had some things to sort out first. And she will proceed with the
Is this something you want to roleplay here, or do you want to do it off screen?
I think it will be fun to do it off screen so y'all don't really have like an idea of
Sure.
what's going on.
Sure. All right.
Sure.
Absolutely.
That's fine.
In the meantime, Frank, you received a buzz again SMS once.
Frank sits down, checks the mobile. Is it a private message?
Yep.
Mumbles, when you're basically done with the call, if you walk out, you see Miles is in the hallway of the call, but he's got his head to the wall right now, just closed eyes.
Yeah, she'll actually like surprisingly gently put like a hand on his shoulder and just squeeze it.
All right, you're done with the call.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Thanks.
You realize that you missed a call, Miles, on your phone.
Oh shit! Huh, hold up. Who's the number? What's the number?
It's Mary's number.
Mary. Maria.
Maria, yeah.
He just looks at it like, and you see his eyes just go wide for a bit. What the fuck? I'm gonna call.
Okay.
One moment.
Hello, Mr. Miles.
Who's speaking?
Hi, good evening. Sorry to call you at such a late hour, my friend. Unfortunately, this is instructed by Maria to call you at this hour in such a time. It's regarding arrangements for funeral and her will.
I see.
I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm using her device to do this, but
I understand. Can I who am I speaking to at the moment, sir? Apologies.
you are speaking to Doc. Jesus Christ! What is that noise, Milena? Is everything okay there?
Yes, sir.
I guess it sounds like somebody's doing some crafting.
Someone's drumming. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
There is. That's the workspace background. So, continue on.
It's Dr. Borge. I'm her notary, basically.
Ah, okay, I understand.
The hour's late, I understand, Mr. Miles, but this is the instruction I was given to do.
By who? By Maria herself?
Yes, it is part of the instruction on her will.
And now, I imagine?
Is this a good time, or would you like to do a different appointment? I mean,
He's going. One moment. Just want to check to make sure everything's alright. Just I'm a bit busy with something, so just a moment. I'll be with you. I want just gonna put the call on hold. He's gonna put the call on hold. So I gotta read up a will right now. I
Ah,
can do this now. I can do this later.
would you like me to go with you?
If you want, if you prefer to go with me and leave Tatiana and Frank behind.
It's not really about them, it's about what you want. If you want to go along, you can, but if you want the company,
Come with me. You already helped me a lot today, so I owe you at this point.
yeah, we can discuss that later. That's fine.
Later. I can come, yes. What time and where?
this will have to be in my office. Um, it is a bit of away, unfortunately, but if you could make your way down to Hazabuch, and I can text you the address if you want. It's easier that way. Maybe I can send you my location on WhatsApp.
You can text me the address. I'll be fine with that.
Very
Thank you.
well, Mr. Miles.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dr. Borch.
Frank, you're getting a buzz call at the moment from the persistent Mark.
Answer it. Bonsoir, Thierry. What is it?
I see you didn't make it down to my territory, Frank.
There was one little thing called mourning, which
How
impeded our.
well, if you would have just tried that serum to test out the theory that these hooligans are doing, it would have convinced me that we are on the right track. But it seems you did not take the leap. You know what? In
I
your
still have the syringe. I still have the syringe.
oh yes, I understand that much. My good acquaintance doesn't seem to remember where it went after he gave it to you or what you've done. So he doesn't even remember you at all. How funny is that, Frank? How funny is that?
I have a habit of doing that to people, you know.
Wise man, you would make an excellent Camarilla, I swear. Speaking of which, I'm growing very impatient about our offer, Frank. What are we doing, my friend? Are we gonna sign the papers? Are you gonna take this job?
That might be so, but the group are warming up to it, actually.
Really? That is good news.
See, it's not just me.
You have to admit,
Always bring your team with you, right?
yes, you have to admit, I would make us a very exemplary sire. Yes. So, I tell you what, Frank, I will write up the rest of the details, and I will expect you in the coming nights. Yes.
There is one issue,
There's an issue.
which it's a side issue. It's a side issue, but it involves your dear little lovely roses, you know, because you like this place, right? You don't want
Whoa.
Sebastian Wood or whatever the fuck his name is coming over and snooping around. So
Oh, we're dealing with that. I believe no, actually, your sire is dealing with that. Your baron.
my Baron, my Baron.
Yes. I'm used to the term sire. Forgive me, Frank. Listen, I don't have much time to chat. Since we're on a positive note, I like to keep it that way. I don't want to spoil my night, so I'm taking it that you are really considering this. I'll write up the papers. When you and your gang of Scooby Doo team gets to decide to take it seriously, all you need to do is bring a pen with you. For the rest of the night, enjoy yourselves. Oh, and Frank, by the way, in relation to the incident that happened to your establishment, my condolences. Good night. Click.
Nice one.
At this point, imagine we come down the stairs, me and Mumbles. We're gonna be stepping out for a bit. Won't take long, alright? Just gonna make a pass by.
Perhaps we can rejoin later and the two of you can discuss how you would like to see us move forward. As a group. She'll walk out the door.
Yeah, same. If nothing happens, if we have I imagine. I think you're driving, right? I imagine.
Yeah.
Yep,
She
so
doesn't have her motorcycle, but I feel like at some point she will have stolen a car. I feel
yeah,
like
I imagine we did.
stealing a car.
we just hijacked the car. Yeah, and as we're driving on the way, he's gonna say something, which probably catches you off guard. What he says: "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He'll never leave you nor forsake you."
Dude, that just gave me goosebumps. Jesus.
You hear him say that, Mumbles.
Yeah.
Wait,
No.
do your character believe in God? Is it real or?
You'll
Mom
see.
was just kind of just like. She just continues driving. It's not really
Yeah.
any of her business.
If I don't know if Mumbles was a faithful person in the past, maybe he was. Sounds like a scripture from the Bible.
Yeah, she used to be.
Yeah. So if you want to comment on that, not feel free. Feel free to do so.
Yeah, she just kind of yeah. I grew over that phase, but if it brings you comfort, I don't care. Pray as hard as you like.
You say that to him.
Yeah.
He says, Deuteronomy 31:6. Faithful house. No, not as faithful as I used to be. Also, don't get me wrong. When you become this kind of thing, how can you be? But
yeah. A direct descendant from the world's first murderer.
Right.
Is Frank and Tatiana still together, by the way? Still in the mansion?
Yeah, I would imagine.
Okay,
Probably.
I'm just trying to get an understanding of that kind of dynamic.
Yeah. So, and as in that case, he just sort of says, "Look, I'm in a rough spot right now. I don't agree with what Frank does. I don't side with him.
Well, I didn't really catch the last bit you were saying because you were breathing into the microphone a little
I
bit.
said, my bad. I said I don't agree with what he did.
Well, the thing is, I like my boundaries. I don't feel like I've done anything in particular to create distrust, so this kind of nosiness doesn't really suit me, particularly.
I can understand. You like to be
But
quiet.
I think I made that clear. If he
You did.
can't accept that, I will reveal what I think is necessary when the time is right. Then that is his mistake to make.
Looks like mistakes are happening very common tonight.
Huh. And for what it is worth, my condolences. I mean, it sounds weird from a person who suggested to kill her herself 2 nights ago, but, you know.
Yeah, well, thanks. And as I imagine we arrive at the location, he'll get out.
Get out.
Walk
Close the
inside the
door.
building. Yeah. I'll walk inside the building. She can follow me. Hands in my pocket.
Yeah, she'll follow.
All right. So, as you come to the building, it's one of these old townhouses. You notice there's a slab drilled into the wall where there's Dr. Borge, notary, and his usual working hours engraved into the metal. What
Knock on the door.
you knock?
Yep.
So you knock on the door, and you hear it unlock, and it just kind of opens, but only ajar. It's dark inside.
I'm gonna look at Mumbles. Could I try to hide my senses and see if I can hear like a beating heart
You can
inside?
you can heighten your senses.
I think he's just opening the door to make sure it's not somebody spooky, but that's just my interpretation.
What was it again? The slab? What?
But I'm
A jar?
like it was a little bit ajar. Oh, here I heard someone. Sorry, my bad. I heard
But he
something
opened
locked.
it, no?
Yep, my bad. I ignored this. He'll say hello. That's what Miles will say.
You hear nothing.
Mumbles is going to just tap Miles' shoulder, make this gesture, and she's going to like go behind his back and unseen passage.
As she does that, I am going to heighten my senses. Try to catch for a beating heart.
I don't know why, but for me it all feels like a trap. But it's just
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
oh, okay.
I do get hungrier.
Okay.
I imagine wits and awareness done.
Yes, please.
I mean, for one, the notary had an Italian accent. He wouldn't usually have that, but who knows?
5 successes.
Okay.
You hear the dead of night. Crickets. No beating heart.
I'm going to make a hand sign in front of Mumbles. Like, maybe we had this like in the past. I don't know. Like or a cross. No heart, no
Yeah.
beating heart, no one alive. And
Mumbles is not stupid.
I'm gonna draw my knife out.
Yeah, I will activate my feral weapons for another rouse check, please. Okay, that one's a success. That's
And
great.
I'm gonna look behind her. Well, of course she's not. I don't know if she's behind her, but
She can whisper, like when
Yeah.
she's obfuscated, she can you just like hear, just like very close to your ear, I got your back.
he nods, pushes open goes into the door, and flips on the light switch. If there is one, you can sort of detect.
You find the light switch, flick it on, and in front of you, you see an old individual with a wooden stake driven through his heart, and you see just a pool of blood around him that came from the wounds. And in a split second, from a back window, you see a figure just vanish out into the night.
I point in that direction for Mumbles.
I cut scene
Yeah.
for a moment to Frank and Tatiana. What are you guys doing?
So do I understand right that we are all still in the mansion with a friend, right?
Tatiana's with Frank in the mansion, yes.
We two are.
So
Once
I don't
again-
feel
Never
like
had a one-to-one moment because there was always someone. Yeah.
Frank's mobile vibrates once again for a message.
And in light of what happened with Mumbles, I put it on the table and I show it to Tatiana, and basically, it's Sebastian telling me that our Baron is keeping my Athena hostage. And I'll be like, I have a this is where I suppose I will imitate Tatiana and go like, waste not, want not.
What are you doing? Are you trying to imitate what?
I'm trying to imitate Tatiana's, cool, nonchalant mode of, yeah, okay, someone died, whatever. So I'm like, I have no stakes on the matter either way. Not sure why I want him to help me. I mean, he's a big boy. He should take care of himself. Or that's
Well,
what I
I'd
to
say that
believe.
all this time I was kind of bored a bit, and I was lying in the couch, the most comfortable one that I can find, with the book that I pick up from the library, from a cupboard or whatever. Even if it's in Maltese, I'm pretending that I'm trying to read it or something, but basically I'm just, how you call it?
Skimming
You
through it,
know,
like
yeah,
leafing
just
through it.
Maybe you're looking at any pictures. Yeah, sure.
lying very idly on the couch. So I'm really not pretending that I'm listening to Frank, but I'm actually all ears. So I'm just stop reading for a second and watching, interfering. Like, I don't know how to react really, and I'm waiting for Frank to say something else, maybe.
Hold on for a second. You actually look at the ceiling
Mm-hmm.
while you're laying. As you kind of lower the book down on your chest and you look up in the ceiling as you hear Frank talk to you from the other room about this message you got from.
I wouldn't talk from the other room. I would be like in the vicinity, like
Yeah,
who's-
hand
Well,
over.
yeah.
where's Smash Buckley da? Especially, yeah.
On the ceiling, you see an individual clunched to the ceiling, and as you make eye contact with him in a split second, there and then in Russian he says, "Tatiana, I've been looking for you."
Oh shit.
Oh,
And we
no.
shall end the session here.
God damn it. Oh,
Come on! What the fuck?
Can you say it in Russian, Tatiana, so we'll get the feeling?
Yeah, he said it in English or Russian.
In Russian.
But Luke is asking like how would it actually sound like in Russian?
Yeah, exactly.
If you know.
Татьяна, я искал тебя все это время.
That's the
Like that.
longest.
nice. Nice.
Yeah,
God
just a
dang
bit.
it.
Who is that? Anyway, do I recognize this person?
Yes, you do.
Oh no.
Is it Eddie?
Oh,
Who is that?
He is one of the people you recognize that killed your clan. He's hunted
Oh
you
shit.
down.
Wait, so this is a werewolf then?
oh god. Oh no.
Oh, holy shit! I
Oh.
mean, this is kind of an issue for vampires, a werewolf. Oh.
Thank you so much for having me this evening as your storyteller. Until next time.
Bye, people.
And this episode of I'm going to split my party and make them pay for it.
My applause. I really like this.